This episode of Kind of Funny Games Cast is brought to you by the OWC DIY PlayStation 4 hard drive upgrade kit, available now at MaxSales.com. Now that Christmas is over, you have one thing left to do: install all of those new video games you received as gifts onto your PlayStation 4. But with games taking up to 50 gigabytes of storage space, your drive can fill up fast. If you need more storage on your system, quadruple the storage space on your PlayStation 4 with the OWC DIY PlayStation 4 hard drive upgrade kit. Do you know how hard it is to read a bunch of random letters like that? It's really hard, but you know what I'm talking about here. With the OWC kits included 2 terabyte
What
hard
is
drive,
going
all
on,
the tools
tubes?
needed
It
for
is your
installation,
boy,
transfer,
Will Black Only Wiggins, here to give you some more exciting digital art action. So I'm so excited to be delivering this to you guys. We are going to kick things off with rendering this character, Laura Matsuda. Hey, Tsukino. See where my mind's at. Tsukino, how you doing? How you doing, girl? Welcome to the stream. I am wearing my Kigurumi because it is cold as fuck. Listening to a podcast while I actually work on this. That way we can get some interesting perspective stuff going on, as well as doing some of this digital art stuff. And so this part of the process is something that I really enjoy for a variety of reasons. One of the reasons why I enjoy this process so much is because I can start creating a mood, a feel, an atmosphere for each of my pieces. And so this is one such piece where I'm going to be creating a feel for everything that's going on. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be a really cool part of the process.
100 games that we stand by, which means we're not talking about our favorites necessarily. We're not talking about the best necessarily. We're just talking about 100 games that Kind of Funny's like, yeah, seal of approval. We fuck with this shit. Sure. And you should too. Sure. Is that going to include a lot of the best in our favorites? Probably. Absolutely. But that's the criteria that we're going here. Rules.
That's good to hear that you're doing well, though.
A lot of people do the only one.
And so sometimes I get into the zone, I get a little quiet while I'm working, but don't you worry. I am always here to answer questions about the process. There are people who are interested to know a little bit more about the process. I'm happy to deliver that information. And as a disclaimer, right now I am in the process where I am not only just rendering, but I'm also noodling around with the lighting and trying to figure out just how light and dark elements are going to be. And so right now, I'm just doing very rough, basic coloring, or shading, I should say. You have to watch out because you can't draw worth a snot. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, you can always learn, too. There's always so many different things to learn when it comes to making art. And art, you don't necessarily have to be good at in order to enjoy. So if you are curious about making art and want to make art, there is literally nothing stopping you except for yourself. And except for maybe having a lack of time. If you don't have time to actually invest in making art, then I can understand. But if you are interested in making art and you're kind of, concerned about whether or not you'll be good at it or not, like, the only way you get good at anything is by putting some time into it, putting some work into it, and figuring it out, So have fun if you do decide you want to start getting into art, because it's one of those things that's just really self-satisfying. It really soothes the soul in some ways or another. It helps you kind of have an understanding of the things that you interact with or don't interact with on a daily basis.
You look at other people's lists?
Critiquing them. Like, I fucking hate your list. Sure. This is what you're missing. This is what you, thumbs up to you. Okay. Cool. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go console by console.
So this might be a little rough at first.
It's a good way to start the conversation. But what inevitably is going to happen is we're going to get to a franchise, and then it's going to be like, well, which one do we include? And then it turns into this whole thing that we're going to be talking about later.
And once we do this initial kind of phase of, doing rough renders of the entire piece, we'll start going into detail and doing very specific parts. So as you can see, the face looks all types of jacked up, and it's supposed to look like that right now because we're just blocking in the shading, the coloring.
Damn, Bob Saget watches the Gamescast?
Heard he's a big fan.
Wow, that's huge.
All right, let's start with the pre-NES, because I don't know how many games that we will necessarily.
Now, are we saying that we need to put? This is just a brain. This is a Kickstarter. Is that where we're going? We're getting a little jump start on the old noggin here.
Yeah, the old kickstart. We don't have to put anything. Like when the Master System comes up.
There are a lot of pre-endless games that should be on the list.
I know, but I'm just saying. I didn't know if we're trying to hit like 5 on every system or something, or that's the criteria.
If we end up with 1,000 games on this list, we end up with 1,000 games. We can prune if we want or not.
That's really gonna fuck up though. Kind of funny. Gamescast episode 10,000. We try to do the 10,000 list. We already done the 10,000.
We'll do 100 then. Okay. Yeah. So pre-NES.
Pong.
What are we dealing with here, Call?
You stand by Pong?
You gotta put Pong in there.
Well, I mean, why? It's not a fun game.
Yeah, it is. Come on, it's history.
A very important
it's paddleball.
It's very important. I mean, if you want to put Pong in there, I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I don't fuck with Pong.
Miss Pac-Man, I think, belongs on the list.
Now, which version of Miss Pac-Man?
In what regard? Like
any regard. I don't know. Is there a specific
You're
one?
talking about the arcade
Yeah,
cabinet.
the arcade, the 1980s arcade
Okay,
cabinet,
cool.
Or I think it's 1980. I think actually. Yeah, the arcade cabinet.
All right, so we're just blocking in some colors. You guys can probably hear what's going on in the background, right? You can hear it?
Gameplay experiences ever.
I hope you can.
It's so simple, you know, very hard to master. A really super important game. I'd also
Galaga.
You put Galaga on there.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
appropriate.
fuck with Galaga.
You fuck with Galaga?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel you.
I would put Breakout or Arkanoid on there. I wouldn't put both. And Breakout was first. I think Arkanoid's better.
Let's go Arkanoid then.
Yeah, I think Arkanoid's. You know, I love Brick Breakers, and it's one of those genres where you can't really. There's only been a few games that have done something interesting with it since then. Shatter being probably the best example of it, but I love Arkanoid. I think Arkanoid's great.
Now the thing there, Arkanoid is great, but I think Peggle does it better. So I would say that Peggle deserves it more. Any of the Peggles.
They're different though.
They are different, but you know I feel like Peggle is just the idea, but improved. It has so much depth and layers.
Let's not count out Magic
balls.
Orbs.
Magic Orbs. I love Magic Orbs.
never played
And
it. I played a lot of
Hyperbaloid HD.
I mean,
Yo, Akisora, what's up? Drama Beats, what up? Welcome to the stream.
But you think
We're listening to a podcast right now, which is interesting.
I really just think they're fundamentally.
I usually don't listen to podcasts while I do these pieces, but I felt compelled to do so today, and so I did.
And I would say that they're
But in case you guys are just jumping in wondering what it is that I am doing, I am blocking in basically the basic forms using shading
Arkanoid is not the original Brick Breaker, but I think the best Brick Breaker.
any other pre-NES?
and doing very rough,
I would say Donkey Kong should be on the list.
very rough.
OG Donkey Kong?
Yeah,
Here's my
cabinet Donkey Kong.
I don't think so. I think Donkey Kong 94 deserves the spot.
Donkey Kong Country.
No,
Donkey Kong
Game
94?
Boy. The 1994 Game Boy.
I never heard it called that. Yeah, I don't even know that I ever played the Game Boy port. So
Because
or the Game Boy version.
it's far superior. It includes all the Donkey Kong OG shit, but there's this whole.
Yes, Laura is love.
I'll get on to-
Yes, this is a podcast. This is Kind of Funny Games. Darkness, thank you so much for the follow. I swear you already started following me on Twitch, though, so I don't know why I'm just not getting a notification about that.
I would agree.
It's very strange.
I will say that two others that come to mind from this particular era, not that I know necessarily know. if you
But
guys-
yes, Laura is
Resident Evil,
love.
I absolutely love it.
Laura is life. Street
Uh,
Fighter
really-
5.
Yeah,
with the pipes?
yeah, I love that game. And really a prototype, an archetype, although not necessarily the first game that did static screen, coin chasing, all that kind of stuff. But that game again, super skill based in the same way Donkey Kong is, where you can get really, and I am really good at that game, and you can get like. You can get kind of crazy good at it, and I think it's kind of
Are you
interesting.
crazy good at it or just quite good at it?
I am quite good, but you can get very good at it, and I like the loop. Back at IGN when we were in Brisbane a long time ago, we had a bunch of machines, and I used to play that game all the fucking time. Constantly,
You're
and, like,
uncultured.
it's a game worth thinking about, but I don't think you guys-
Uncultured in the sense that you don't know about this podcast, or you don't know about podcasts in general.
You guys are familiar with that game's fucking phenomenal.
Is the volume on the podcast too high? Is it just right?
Maybe not. You know, I want to have more of a consensus in these games. That you
Well,
guys
I'm not familiar with River Raid. I never played it. Mario Bros. I would say I don't think that
Yeah,
that makes the list. Mario Bros. is a little. So
And,
what do you think about River Raid? Do you put it on?
I mean, I think River Raid's awesome, but if
We'll,
you guys
we'll put it on. I mean, hey, fuck.
River Raid never ends, and it's just a ship flying over a playing flying over a river, shooting shit, and me and my best friend.
Why am I getting another call right now? It's so weird. Let me answer this, guys.
It's a really great like game and a standout on 2600. If you go back and play a lot of those games, and I know maybe a lot of our audience is younger, didn't have or play an Atari 2600. Those games do not stand up at all, and there are a few examples of games that do. I know people really love adventure and stuff like that. I would say River Raid is one of those games.
Okay. Boom. It's on there. Can we move on to the NES?
Yes, we can be here all day.
Yes, we can. Let's do it. Let's begin. All 3 Marios.
Yeah, definitely. I will say this, Tim, and I think you'll agree with this, that let's say per capita, the NES only had, I think, just north of 700 Western releases. And I think that pound for pound, NES is going to have the most games per games on the console of any other console. In other words, like a massive swath of the NES library compared to, say, PS2 is a good example. PS2 had like over 4,000 games. And so even if you had 50 games from the PS2, and I don't think that would anywhere be near the number of games you put on the list, that would be fewer per game than what I think. I think that you can easily make a case for 30 or 40 NES games. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Because these are so. This is bless you. The quantum leap from Coleco and Atari and all that kind of stuff to NES was significant. Now we've seen jumps like that later on, but what an NES allowed you to do, compared to like look at Pitfall compared to Mario Brothers, they're actually the same game, but one's very rudimentary and one isn't. And you see that across genres and across games and across franchises and across series where I see like all 3 Mario games, all 3 Ninja Gaiden games, all 6 Mega Man games, all 4 Dragon Quest games. Like there's like you can go and like these games are masterpieces of gameplay and game design. Castlevania, all these things, like you can get all, and before you know it, you have like 50 of these games, and could you really argue with any of those? Like that's the thing.
I think you could. My thing is, I think that in the same way that you're right, the NES games are so far away from the 2600 games. I think that for pretty much all the franchises, the Super Nintendo version's better than the NES version.
But it doesn't detract from the NES version.
It doesn't, but I think that they improve. Like Link to the Past is better than Zelda.
Sure.
Super Mario World, in my opinion, is the best 2D Mario game.
I agree.
Correct. Between World and 3, it's very close.
They're similar.
But for me, World is definitely, it takes the cake. And then in like Super Castlevania is, you know.
Ooh, don't say it.
People love that shit, man.
People do. Like Castlevania 4 is, well, we'll get to Castlevania 4. Because it's a similar thing you're going to find in the SNES. The SNES, I think, only had like 10 or 15 more games in the West than the NES did, without publisher constraints that were artificial during the NES era. So we're on both of those consoles. I actually think the SNES's library is a little overrated compared to the NES's library, which I think is a little underrated. But I don't necessarily disagree that there are, Super Castlevania 4 with Mode 7 and all that kind of stuff was like the whip and turning the stages that turn and stuff was incredible. I don't think it's better than Castlevania 3. But I will say that Super Mario World is better than Super Mario 3, although they're both 10s. Exactly. So like that's the problem. And I would say the same thing about like Mega Man's, when we did the top 100 NES games at IGN many years ago, one of the arguments was like the 6 Mega Man games are better than almost all of the games on the list. Like, but should you clog the list up with all of them? That was a huge argument we had.
And that's the argument we need to have here, because it's like there needs to be some type of pruning, right? And I feel like in some cases the entire franchise makes it just by default. In some cases it doesn't. Do you really think all 6 Mega Man games?
I think that if I
would make a case for all 3 Mario games.
Well, they're different.
So then that's the reason why. Is they're different enough that I'm like all 3 belong to be there. If I had to boot one, it would be the first one.
Ooh.
I think like because Mario 2 I think is way different enough, and Mario 1 is fucking fantastic, but I would rather give the spot to 2 because we have 3 and we were also for sure gonna have World.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that I would never even consider a world in which we were doing a list like this, and all 3 of them weren't on the list anyway. So it's. But you're right in the sense that Super Mario Brothers is the most important game ever made. I don't think there's going to be a game ever more important, and that game, it holds up so incredibly as people with the mini NES or whatever the fuck it's called. I can never remember what it's called. Classic NES. Is proving, I think, to a lot of people, maybe for the first time or maybe reminding them. But yeah, with Mega Man specifically, I think I might remove 1. But 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are really like probably the best platformers on the console in terms of shooty platformers. Now, obviously, Mario would take the cake, I think, in terms of sheer platforming and execution in that way. But the same thing with Ninja Gaiden, where those 3 games are immaculate. And so, like, which one would you remove? I wouldn't remove any of them. So, I mean, that's where I stand, but I don't want to monopolize the NES list
for the
games
sake
I
of
love.
this, though, I'm going to leave the decision in your hands for Mega Man, Castlevania, and Ninja Gaiden.
I mean, my take is I would if I had to prune something, and I think I don't think the original Mega Man is that great. Like Mega Man is heavy. It feels different, as people know, than 2 through 6. Like there's just a different feel to it. The game's a little harder too, although that's not a problem. There's no E-tanks. Continuing is a little different. The boss gamut at the end or gauntlet rather, is different. So I would remove 1. I mean, obviously 2 and 3 absolutely belong on the list, and I would put all of them, 4, 5, and 6 on there as well. So I don't know that you could possibly deny it, and you could make the argument that the games actually get more impressive even though they don't have the same nostalgic resonance anymore. I mean, if you look at Mega Man 6, which came out in 1993, that game, I don't even know how that game runs on an NES. If you actually look at the backgrounds, you listen to the music, it's unbelievable. Compare that game to Mega Man 1, and they're running on the same hardware. It's really remarkable. It is similar to the jump between Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, and The Last of Us, just on a different console at a different time in a different era, man. I mean, forget about it. And then with Castlevania, I would make the same argument you made with Mario, where they're different games and they all belong on the list. They're all different. And obviously, I think the first and the third belong on the list. I don't think anyone would dispute that. I think the big dispute would come from Simon's Quest. And I find that game to be super underrated, specifically because of the provenance of the game, and specifically because of the influence it has on what we think Castlevania is today, which is not those games, which is Symphony of the Night. There would be no Symphony of the Night without Simon's Quest. And so I would put all 3 of them on there as well. And I'm not sure anyone would dispute that either. The bigger thing I'm curious about with you is do you think obviously The Legend of Zelda is on the list? Do you believe?
I don't know. I don't know if it is.
Oh, that's.
I really don't think it is, because we got to think holistically about this, because we can't be too top heavy in the beginning, because there is so many games that come after that I want to make sure make the list. And like, while as many games per franchise can make it, I think that really does make you kind of look within and be like, well, which one should? And so I think for me, Mario is probably the hardest one to cut ones out of. But with Zelda, I think it becomes a bit more clear, where Link to the Past is a for sure for me. Ocarina is a for sure for me. Wind Waker.
Yeah, I don't dispute any of that.
Come on.
But I also would say, my theory is that from mainline Zeldas, not including CDI and all that kind of stuff, that you have from Legend of Zelda, 87 Zelda, all the way through Wind Waker, with the exception, I would say, of Link's Awakening, which is my least favorite Zelda game. I think all of them belong on the list, including Oracles, like they're all great.
Fucking Oracles.
You know, so like this is the problem. Which one? I might maybe get my notebook and just start hashing, like doing hash marks. Just because if we want to keep it to 100, then see, this is what I'm saying is we should put everything on and then go back and remove things.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. But I want to still be thinking about it. I don't want to just put literally every fucking game we've ever played on the list, you know? But I agree. I mean, I get that there was a lot of amazing games back then. All right, so Ninja Gaiden, though, before we...
There are different schools of thought with Ninja Gaiden. I think the first one is the best. People think that the series gets better. It certainly gets fucking tremendously hard by the third game. I would definitely put the first one on for now.
All
and
right,
I think we can go. I think we can go back and you can make an argument for the second and third one. Those games are all good. I got them actually all at the same time. I told the story about how my brother gave them to me in a Bass shoe box as a joke, thinking that I was getting shoes for my birthday, and all 3 of them were in the box.
All 3?
Yeah. We were obsessed with those games, and I was obsessed with Hayabusa. Like, I thought he was a great character. I still think that the first one is the pinnacle of the series, although there is a massive disagreement on that. It's similar to Mega Man 2 and 3. Like, you know, maybe not quite as heated because Ninja Gaiden's not as popular.
Okay, so Zelda.
I would put them both on there. I would put Zelda 2 on there absolutely
You put
too.
Zelda 2 on there?
Yeah, I think Zelda 2 is so good. Well,
Zelda 2 is great, and it's definitely very special, but like, when you're talking about the top 100, I don't think it fits there. It's too difficult for the sake of being difficult, not in a fun, challenging way, just in this is bullshit way.
Yeah, I don't know. So I look at Zelda 2 and Castlevania 2 in similar veins, and actually Mario 2 in its own way, even though it's not a real Mario game, where the sequel to these established games did something different. And what I loved about Zelda 2 is that it, similar to Castlevania 2, is it had hidden RPG systems that weren't really emphasized, but that they were there and they were important. Finding like the pea bags, which sounds weird to say, around the world, and like leveling yourself up. It was similar to Simon and Simon's Quest, where there was this back end system that was never really explained, but was actually quite integral to the structure of the game because they didn't know how to put that out there yet. So I think Zelda 2 did a really interesting job, actually, of not only giving you a world to explore that was different, and I felt more meaty because of the nature of the dungeons as opposed to the original Legend of Zelda, but also giving you an interesting story without really telling you anything. The fact that you start with Zelda's like passed out body on that altar or whatever, I think is awesome. And I don't know. I don't think it's as good as Link. I don't think either of those games are as good as any of the Zelda games that came after, with the exception of Link's Awakening again. But it's a similar argument to Mega Man, where it's like, just because Link to the Past is one of the great games of all time, or Majora's Mask or Ocarina, doesn't mean that those other games aren't also 10s, because they are. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, these are amazing games.
Yeah.
At the very least, if we're gonna put a Zelda game on, the first one should go on there.
Okay.
I'm gonna, we have to kind of split the difference.
I think I agree with you in the terms of them being 10s, but I just think that 10s change over time. So it's like comparing a 10 then to a 10 now. It's like it's different. So it's like you do got to kind of think about the overall thing. But we'll put Zelda 1 on there.
Yeah, we can keep that. And then we can go really far down the rabbit hole here. I think Final Fantasy deserves to be on the list.
Final Fantasy 1?
Yeah. Super important game.
I know, but that's the thing. Important game is different than just
Seal
games
of
that we
approval.
stand by. These are like
I
think specifically with Final
grind.
Fantasy, I think that's when we really just need to choose what our favorite ones are, because obviously the franchise.
I think
is
you're gonna
beloved.
have a few of them on there. I can understand the argument against Final Fantasy. My argument for Final Fantasy is, again, a time and place issue. That game was really unnecessarily deep, even deeper than what inspired it, which is Dragon Quest. And what I like about it today is that there's still if you go on GameFAQs, for instance, you can see like there's like, how do you get through the game with only using white mages? How do you get through the game without using magic? How do you get through, like, there's people were doing this in the 80s and the early 90s, and I think it's a fun and interesting kind of game, a class-based game. We never seen anything like that before. You saw it on PC, but not in the console space. It was a very new and different kind of game. But I understand it not being there. Dragon Quest, or Dragon Warrior as we know in it, I love all four of those games. I think Dragon Warrior 4 is widely considered the best role-playing game on the console, and so I think that absolutely belongs on the list. I wouldn't put them all on there. I think there's no need for the Dragon Quest clutter. You wouldn't be able to tell them apart.
Thinking of the Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy franchise as a whole, with all the different consoles, which NES ones do you think we need to put on the list?
For Dragon Warrior?
For both Dragon Warrior and for Final Fantasy.
Well, we only had the first Final Fantasy. I mean, are we counting the Famicom games, or are we counting where they were ported? Because we didn't play them until Origins. I mean, I never played 2 until PlayStation. And I don't think 2 or 3 belong anywhere on the list anyway. Proper 2 and 3, not 4 and 6. I think I would, since you have an aversion to Final Fantasy, which I understand, or a version of the list, I would say that you would at the very least have to put as we know, Dragon Warrior 4 on the list. I don't think anyone would dispute that either.
Dragon Warrior 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boom. Going down with NES. Greg, do you got any?
No, I didn't play any NES.
None?
No.
0.
I mean,
DuckTales.
from things I've heard about or talked about, yeah, not things I've
DuckTales.
lived.
We're putting DuckTales on.
Kung Fu. Irem's Kung Fu is fucking awesome, but doesn't belong anywhere near this
Yeah,
list.
I don't think I could put it. I don't think I can put it on this. In the same way, like TMNT, the original one. I fucking love that game.
Me too.
But yeah,
It is hard. The Irem's Kung Fu can be beaten in like 15 minutes. The fun part of that game is flipping the score and like getting high scores in it, but I don't think it's like an immaculate game. The sequel is fucking terrible, by the way, if anyone's ever seen it. Never came out here. I'm trying to think here. Oh God, I mean, there are so many games that I think are so special on the NES. I think I have a significant NES bias. I don't know that, like, I would put all sorts of shit on this list. So
Paperboy. I love Paperboy.
Paperboy's fun.
the NES port, or would you say that there was an arcade version of
The NES port is the one that I know the most, and I love it. I think it's perfect. I'd put that on the list. I'd put Paperboy.
I mean, if you stand by on I put all sorts of shit.
Paperboy was
Put
one I always
Paperboy
played
on
in
the
Mike
list.
Boylan's house.
Marvel Madness does not make it on the list.
Not the port.
Because Super Monkey Ball does make the list.
Banana
But we'll
Blitz.
get to that. Not Banana Blitz. Super Monkey Ball 2 on the GameCube.
Gotcha.
I'll just stop because I like.
Are
I'm
you
like,
sure? Let's think about that.
I mean, like, I look at Crystalis, Faxanadu. There's like a lot of really interesting games on here that
Metroid, I don't think needs to deserve it. Super Metroid. Gets it.
Metroid. I would say Kid Icarus.
Really?
Yeah. I know some people like the Game Boy version better, and I know some people don't like any of them, even the new one. I really love Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus again is a unique game, and it's fun, and it's fucking super hard, and there's all sorts of weird systems in it. Again, I think you can make a case for that. I think you can make a case for Contra. I think you can make a case for Jackal. I think you can make. There's a lot of great games on it. That's why I'm just gonna.
Contra would be pretty great.
The thing with Contra, though, I go back to it. I think Super Contra is better. Like, I would put that on the list, like Contra 4.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. I've never been super. I mean, like, my brother was crazy about like all these Konami games.
Awesome.
Contra.
Awesome.
I mean, there are games like obscure fucking games that I love. Codename Viper. Like, there's a lot of great fucking games, that are. Dr. Mario.
Bubble
That's
Bobble.
another one. I think Dr. Mario is one of the great puzzle games of all time.
So do you want to put Dr. Mario on?
Yeah, I think you can make the case. I'm looking at Star Tropics. Like, there's all sorts of fucked up shit we can put on the list. We can make the whole list all the NES games, Greg.
Okay.
Let's see.
Double Dragon.
No. Oh, Punch Out.
Punch Out.
Yes.
You put Punch Out.
Yes, absolutely. Now I would put Punch Out and Super Punch Out. The thing,
Really?
yeah. The thing is
I
that
feel like that's one of those ones you choose one.
then I would choose the NES.
Then
I
I
would choose
choose
Punch
NES.
Out.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah, I love Punch Out. Let me go back to that list. Let me see.
River City Ransom, Ghosts and Goblins,
No.
Battletoads.
Yeah, no.
I really love Ninja Turtles.
I loved it too. You're talking about not the arcade,
Not the arcade one.
TMNT2.
This is the one where you can go in the sewer, you
Yeah.
come down, you fight, you throw it to them.
I'm not gonna dispute that. I think that game is it reminds me a little bit of like Fester's Quest and some other NES games where I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like these games are not nearly as bad as you're saying they are.
I mean, it's pretty damn bad. But
I don't
fucking
agree.
love it.
I don't agree. Like it's a time and place thing. Like I remember playing that game when it came out. It was fucking amazing.
And the
Like,
strategy of choosing which turtle to go and like sacrificing Raphael because no one gives a fuck about his bullshit little size spinning around using Donatello. Come on, man.
yeah, use
Hey,
that
if
to,
you guys
like,
are
hit
cool,
down.
I'm putting it on the list.
I'm fine with it.
Sure. You down for TMNT?
I really do believe that people are too hard on some of these games.
TMNT.
The way
The
people talk about
soundtrack
Fester's
is
Quest makes me want to fucking kill them.
I'm back, y'all. Welcome to the stream. Sorry about that.
This game's awesome.
But yeah, I'm actually
Let's see what else.
using one of these different brushes, and right now I'm just doing like very rough, you know, very rough stuff right now, just to get a sense of.
Yeah.
It's a pretty complete list.
Yeah,
I mean, I
we're
would
doing
add
all
more
right.
things to it, but I Power Blade, like there's a bunch of games that are fucking rad, but what?
Actraiser.
That's an SNES game. And yes, that will be very high on the list, of course. I'll take you all out.
19 games that we have on the NES.
Okay. And we could go back and prune. Like I think that eventually you could
previous.
probably get rid of a couple of the Mega Man games, for instance.
Okay.
Probably get rid of
So I was
that.
just talking to my girlfriend.
Master
I'm supposed to be hanging out with her tomorrow.
No,
So
Ghostbusters. Put Ghostbusters.
we've had a lot of snow today. I was gonna hang out with her today, but it snowed too much, so I ended up staying here.
On there. I don't.
Thank you.
Alex
Like
Kidd's on there.
yeah,
There are
yeah.
some good games on Master System. I wouldn't stand.
I don't
by
think
it.
exactly. That's the whole thing. Is I think
Okay.
I'd rather save picks for later on than we're going to go.
Well, let's jump in to Genesis.
Okay. You gotta get Genesis.
I missed like a whole bunch of the conversation on this podcast because I was on the phone, which I apologize for, by the way, everyone. I mean, I do my best to not be on the phone when I stream, but girlfriend will get upset if I'm not talking to her and stuff. So
do we want to give Spider-Man a nod?
it's one of those things where I just have to
No, just the
be. I have to try to do both, you know.
Not Maximum Carnage. Maximum Carnage wasn't as good.
Having a girlfriend is really hard as a streamer.
Name I remember.
Really hard.
The game on Sega was awesome because it was you had to take pictures, you had to earn money, you had web fluid to worry about. It actually told you a story narrative here that Kingpin had captured Mary Jane. You get to that ending, she's slowly getting like put into a bottle or not a bottle, into a pit of acid behind you, chained to a rope or whatever, while you fight Kingpin, try to beat him. But there was cool things with taking photos. Like there was more going on to that game than there probably should have been. There was the cool thing of being able to like crawl on the roof of Spider-Man and let him chill in his idle position. He would just stand up. He'd stand up upside down.
That is pretty
dope.
I'll put it on. We're putting it on.
Maximum Carnage is one of those things people flipped out about because everybody loved obviously Venom and they loved Carnage and they loved the idea of Maximum Carnage. But then the problem was that it was just a beat 'em up. It was just fucking side-scrolling beat 'em up. There wasn't anything going on in there. It's like
Maximum Carnage was great.
I love that game, but I mean, it's just a fucking beat 'em up.
I'm gonna say I think NHL '94 should be on the list.
Agreed, 100%.
I think to this day consider the best hockey game ever, and it's certainly there's a nostalgia factor. I think a lot of it has to do with the jump from '93 before they even dated them to '94 was just such a quantum leap again, and we played it just not so long ago on kind of a game. So I would put that on there. I mean, I'd also think people would make a case for Phantasy Star 4 and maybe even Phantasy Star 2. But again, I wasn't a huge Phantasy Star guy at that time, so I just think people are going to be upset if those games aren't on the list, at least 4.
Yeah,
but it's not their list, I guess.
Yeah. Like, is there a Fantasy Star you stand by?
No, I mean, the only one I really remember very deeply is 2, which I think is a great game. And I only remember it because, like I told you guys,
Yo, Luke, what's going on?
that lived next door to me when I grew up had a Master System and a Genesis.
Don't know how long that comment was there. I just saw it. But what's going on YouTube?
I got into Dragon Warrior and all those kinds of things as well, in addition to my brother. And so I played Phantasy Star and watched Phantasy Star through them as a kid, and I didn't start playing them until actually like really getting deep into them on my own until the Virtual Console. And Phantasy Star 2, I loved it. But again, I don't know that I would. I mean, there's way better role-playing games than Starts.
Right here, I mean, this is where we're getting. I mean, you gotta put Road Rash 2 on here.
Road Rash 2.
Road Rash 2.
Okay.
The introduction of the chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You fucking
alright.
driving, swinging that fucking shit above your head, knocking people off. That was awesome. Road Rash was amazing. Road Rash is one of those games that's like burned into my brain in terms of. I don't stand by it, but I'm sure other people do with Mickey Castle of Illusion.
Oh, Castle of Illusion.
People love that. I didn't want it, and I got it, and I was like, whatever. And I
Here's my thing.
Yeah.
As the Disney guy, as
Yeah.
the platform guy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop some.
Here we go. Some truth bombs.
Controversial
Some truth
shit.
bombs about to happen.
The Genesis and Super Nintendo Disney platform games.
Yeah.
Awesome, super great. Not actually good games. People think that they're good games. They're not. Aladdin, Lion King, the Mickey games, all of them. Like, they were too floaty. Didn't really feel right. It was just that the worlds were so great because they were Disney. So I say none of them make the
Okay.
list.
I was tossing out there because I thought you have something for it.
Gunstar Heroes, I want to put on the. on
Okay.
I think you can make a case for that. That's Vince Ingenito's favorite game of all time, I think.
I get it, man. That game's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
What about Altered Beast?
No. 'cause you don't even-
Altered Beast
why-
might be the worst game
Why
ever
did
made.
you bring that up? Why would you?
I can make a case that would be the
I
worst
looked to
game
you, Tim, to decide what Sonic goes on there.
A Sonic goes on. I stand by that, but I understand it just needs to be one. Because I would make the case for 2 and 3.
Then do it.
I really feel. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I got
And
you.
if we have to
I back
prove-
you with 2.
If we have to.
Put all the Mega Man games on the list.
Because the thing is, 2 is my favorite. 3 is better, and 3 is a sign of Sonic being a good game. So I'm gonna go. We'll put it here, and we can change it later, if necessary.
I want to
2.
put a Streets of Rage on here, but I think Streets of Rage 2
2,
was the better one,
2,
right?
yeah.
It's been so long since I played Streets of Rage.
And so once again,
Let's see. Going through.
it's
this,
going through,
we got
figuring out the
PlayStation
value.
games. They're cool, but
They're not worth
just
it.
cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I traded my SNES to my friend Jason in middle school so I can play Shinobi, and then my mom got in trouble, or my mom got me in trouble, and I had to go back and trade my SNES back, and it was the best thing my mom ever did for me.
yeah. I mean that makes
I
sense.
traded him Final Fantasy 3 and my SNES for Shinobi and his Genesis.
God.
And my mom's like, "What are you doing?
What are you
And
doing?
made me go
Well,
to
okay,
Tractor
hold on.
House,
I take it back. I said Sonic 3. Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which is semi-cheating, but I don't give a fuck. This is my
It's
list.
your list, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta live.
I'm living, man.
Good. I'm glad.
All right.
3, 4.
Rocket Knight Adventures. No. I think we're done.
I liked Rise Star a lot. There were certain games out there that I liked, but I would never.
That's the problem. Is like I feel like Genesis did have a lot of good platformers, just compared to Super Nintendo. Was like, nah, bro. Like they're all great platformers. Ghosts and Ghouls. Let's see. Mortal Kombat.
Oh, maybe
Mortal Kombat 2 was really good on Genesis.
I think that is the like favorite version of it. But
Yeah.
Bloodlines. I love that game. It's maybe my favorite Genesis game actually. But
Pennsylvania Bloodlines. Does it go?
yeah, I think so. I remember before I owned a Genesis.
So how's everyone doing tonight, by the way?
Steven, who was the other goalie on my hockey team for a few years when I was a kid, had a Genesis. We used to go rent games, and we rented that game. I was just fucking blown away. I'm like, I can't believe how far Castlevania's come. Even, I mean, because that game's a little later than Super Castlevania, where it's like, wow, impressive game. And then later in 1999 or so, I found a sealed copy of it at Toys R Us in Milwaukee.
Nice. Still got it?
Yep.
Comic Zone.
No, you don't want Comic Zone.
Comic Zone sucks. I hate that fucking game.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of people bringing that game up. That game fucking sucks.
It was a cool idea. It did not at all. No, it was not.
NBA Jam.
I loved NBA Jam, but it's not one I think I have to
yeah.
scream out to put on this list. We'll talk about just if there's 100 slots, I'm not giving NBA Jam.
Yeah. So I think a big question is Mortal Kombat 2. Does it go on the list? Because I say no.
Okay.
Because I say like we're not fighting game guys
No.
and Super Street Fighter 2 Hyper.
You're cold? Yeah.
that will be.
I'm not cold right now because I have this Kigurumi on. If not, then I'd be freezing.
Down in San Diego a few months ago, I went to an arcade. and played-
Frustrating to get your new smart TV to work, but you got it in the end. Wait.
I had all 3 Mortal Kombat.
You got it in the end? What do you mean you got it in the end?
And
Oh, you're frustrating.
and they're bad
Trying to get
games.
your new TV.
Like they're just not good. Like when you put them.
Oh, you figured it out in the
Sonic
end.
and
Gotcha.
Mario, and maybe Sonic looks good on its own, but when you put it next to something that's way better than it, then Sonic doesn't look so good anymore. And when you put Mortal Kombat next to Street Fighter, it's like, how could you possibly think this is good? You know, it feels like shit. And I had a I was so excited when I got Mortal Kombat, and I loved those games when I was a kid, but I went back like, man, these games are bad.
Well, it was the blood and it was the fatalities and it was all this different stuff. That was
We didn't even have that on
cool.
Super Nintendo. We
Yeah,
just had
that's true.
bullshit.
No, Genesis, that's what I was watching.
It
Was
was
fucking
sweat.
tear people apart, rip out spines, cut people open with Kano's hat and shit.
All right.
Kano's hat?
we jump to
Not
SFVs.
Kano. Kung Lao.
Let's do Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
So Game Boy, we got Donkey Kong 94, we got Tetris.
Yeah.
Pokemon
Link's
Red and Blue.
Awakening.
Oh,
you brought up. I don't think it makes it.
I don't think so
I'm
either.
with you, and I know that we are in like rare in the world here because people love that game. But I don't know. There's something about it. I argue that the Oracle games are way better.
Oh, they're way superior.
I don't know that they need to make it either.
You could choose one or the other, and I'm not even sure. I don't even remember what the differences were between them anymore.
Seasons was more action oriented, and Ages was more puzzle oriented. I preferred Seasons.
Yeah, I don't even remember which one I had. I think I had the blue one.
That was Ages.
Yeah, trying to get. Yeah. I got you now.
Those are great games, but I don't know.
Link's Awakening, I don't.
So yeah, you guys were talking about going to work. You prefer the rain? Yeah, we got a lot of snow. I live in Boston.
I'm talking about again like the fucking weird.
like almost a foot.
Shit. Like I'm talking about the Zelda games we know. Until Minish Cap, I was like, Link's Awakening is by far the worst Zelda game, and then Minish Cap came out, and then Spirit Tracks came out, and then all this
Nick
other
loves Spirit Tracks.
I remember I was so excited when that game came out, and then I used
Phantom Hourglass.
and then okay, yeah, that was the one. And then I was like, why can't I control him with the D? And I was like, and that was the end of that.
That was the end of that. Pokemon, obviously.
Yes.
So my thing is, looking at the Pokemon franchise as a whole, I say that Pokemon
Gold.
Red/Blue and Pokemon Gold/Silver.
Yep.
Both of those make the list, and I don't think we need to put any other Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't think
games.
Yellow needs to be on
Now, in that case, though, I don't think the Game Boy versions. I think Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on GBA and Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
I might agree with you with Gold and Silver, but Pokemon Red and Blue, the OG ones. Like again, we are differentiating what's important from what's great or whatever. But those games,
I mean, yeah, you know what?
I would at least
We'll
put
do
Red and Blue
on Game Boy.
I
I'm
think
down
I
with
think
that.
I think that's a no-brainer to me. So, I mean, there are a lot of good Game Boy games. The thing is, like Kirby, Metroid 2. I don't know, like where you.
Super Mario Land 2.
Yeah.
One's whatever. One doesn't make the list.
Yeah, one's a little weird. Two, yeah.
One was my first Mario game.
Ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
It's all
Nintendo
uphill
system.
from
It was
there.
the first Nintendo system.
Yeah.
I would put 2 on there, and I
I'm
would.
down to put Mario Land 2.
And I don't know how you feel about Metroid 2, but I think that game's really special. But if we don't have the original Metroid on,
I feel like Metroid 1's better than 2.
yeah,
And Super Metroid is in such a different league. Super Metroid did it right. Metroid was such a good idea. It just didn't have the power and ability to be what it wanted to be.
yeah, I can stand by that. The interesting thing here is like, where do the Mega Man games come in on this one? And I think you got to put at least 1 on there. And I'm I'm struggling between Dr. Wily's Revenge, which is the first one, which is a mixture of 1 and 2, and the 5th one, which is its own unique game where you're fighting robots from all the different planets. I think you have to put Mega Man 5 on there.
Mega Man X, bro.
I think that game's fucking rad. I think they're all really good. The impressive thing about those games was that they were straight snipped fusion ports of the NES Mega Man games. Like literally, I think 2 was literally half 2 and half 3. 3 was literally half 3 and half 4. Like it was just weird.
That's weird.
So like you'd fight 4 Robot Masters from the second one, then you'd fight 4 Robot Masters from the third one, then you'd go. But the stages were like these like slightly altered versions. I have no idea how the fuck they made it work. And it was very impressive stuff. I think they talked about. I think Inafune in the Udon book, the art book, the 25th anniversary art book, talks a lot about that shit. About how it was really cool that they got those games to work. But I think 5, which was a Game Boy, what was it? Game Boy Color? Yeah, the one with the very limited.
I don't know the Mega Man Game Boy games at all.
I think that yeah, it's a very late game. I guess.
You know what? The more I think about it, I think I gotta put Oracle of Seasons on.
Those games are awesome.
And
Again, not
that
even
might
developed by
get
Nintendo.
the cut later, but Zelda.
I think Ages was the one I played, but I don't remember anymore. It's been a long time. I don't know. Those games were. I was so stoked about those games when they came out. They were very late too. You know.
Yeah.
I want to say like 2000, so 1999.
That sounds right.
Very late. It's 10 years after the handheld came out.
I think
Okay,
that's it for Game
so I'm
Boy.
gonna go in.
Yeah, I would say so.
I feel like we're at a place where the color,
if you watch, for instance,
um,
Power's Game Boy World,
the kind of shading that we have going on here is working.
Like tons of them, and they're really.
Like I'm gonna actually
Game Boy lasted forever. Right?
soft light. We're gonna do white and black.
Yeah, because like even the Game Boy Color and shit, like there was some.
Oops.
exclusive games
Yeah,
for
Pocket
this.
supposed
and
to be
Color
normal.
kept it going. Yeah, I agree.
Wario
This is supposed to be
Land
soft light.
is one that a lot of people like. I didn't like it.
No, I'm not down.
People
I'm not
love
down
it,
with
but
that.
I'm not down. Let's see. Now
I'm gonna do some slightly darker areas.
Here for a while to start it off. Start in Super Mario World. Put it on there. Don't fuck around. Don't be an asshole, Tim.
that's easy.
I know it is, but it's got it. That's why it's got to go first.
I would put
best.
ActRaiser on here for sure. I think that's easily one of the best NES games.
Are you putting Super Metroid on?
I don't like Super Metroid as much as Tim
I
does,
don't either.
but I wouldn't deny that.
Because the thing is that we got to represent the Metroid franchise in here. I think
What
Metroid.
do you?
Well, Metroid Prime would be
you do.
represented.
I think Metroid Prime and I think Super Metroid. Like definitely get the pulls. Let's just put Zelda: Link to the Past.
Yes.
That's obvious.
I would put now. So here's where things get crazy. I mean, Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3. It's just what are you going to call them? They both are clearly on the list. I don't know where. That's where we played them, and that's what we knew them as. So you can put Final Fantasy 2 and 4 in parentheses, and Final Fantasy 3, 6 in parentheses. We can talk about the NES ports, but they're not as, or the the PlayStation ports, but they're not as good. And that is the native place in which we play those games. And I think you can very easily make the argument that those are the two best SNES games. I know a lot of people wouldn't agree with that, but you can make that case, especially if you have a certain inclination towards those kinds of games.
Like,
Okay.
see, I'd put 6 on there. I don't know if I'd put.
Oh, you're crazy. I gotta insist you put
Okay,
put 2 on
works
there.
for me.
You gotta put it on there.
I mean, I'm just gonna call it by its proper. So it's 5 and 6, right?
It's 4 and 6.
So right now I'm just using a soft
So
light
You were talking about Street Fighter. I would put
layer.
Super Street Fighter.
Which one is it? Super Street Fighter 2 Hyper Championship Edition, right?
Yeah, well that was the one before they added Cammy and DJ, right?
I want the one with the whole cast.
Yeah,
with all 16.
what the fuck was that one called? Super Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting Edition?
Hyper Fighting Edition. That's what it was, not Championship. Championship was the.
Was the original one.
What is going on?
Super Street Fighter was the one where they added Sagat.
Sagat.
No, yeah, that's the one too. I think we had them all. I remember my brother driving into the city to buy the original Street Fighter 2, and I was like so amazed by it. I was obsessed with that game. Just obsessed.
Now, the thing with the Super Nintendo, and this is where things get hard with
Such a random message
would
I just got.
argue that the best game of all time, if you're just talking about a cart, is Super Mario All Stars Plus 4. That thing is the best. And I know that it gets iffy and weird, but that's the one I grew up with, and I prefer those to the NES ports, which I know is blasphemy. But the way that they feel, the physics of them,
They're
I feel
fine.
like
I don't like the graphical upgrades. Those are the ones with the.
It looks so good.
It does look good, but it's not. They're not. It's not the games. You know, like that's. Not, but I wouldn't disagree. I think All Stars. We talked about it in one of the episodes. That Colin was right. I mean, that was when collections were rare and when they really had resonance, and that was a fucking great. I bought it. Everyone bought that. Everyone had that on Super Nintendo.
That was the first game I owned because it came with my Super Nintendo. It was a bundle packing, and it was the.
So right now I'm just kind of doing like a
So you got Mario
a
1,
blanket.
2, 3,
I guess is
World,
that the
and
right
Lost Levels,
word to use? A
which
blanket.
hard as fuck, doesn't make sense. Shout out to
Yeah,
that
Lost
shit.
Levels is rough.
But yeah, I don't know
Shading
what to do with
to
that, 'cause
do
I
like an
think
overall
Ghost of
wash of the entire
would
thing,
definitely be my number one in life.
bringing out some of the dark,
Stone
the lights,
spot on the NES side.
increasing the highlights and
So
shadows.
I think Chrono Trigger is a fantastic game. I think you could put it on the list. I think you would put it on the list. I still think that people talk about it like it's better than I remember it being, and like it is. I mean, I've played it many times. I think it's a really special game. I think the Final Fantasy games are better, but I think Chrono Trigger is an amazing feat, and again, a game that was doing things that were well out of its time. A bunch of different endings and all that kind of and non-linearity.
I give it to Chrono Trigger. I don't give it to Chrono Cross.
No, I wouldn't give it to Chrono Cross. Although my buddy Corey was obsessed with Chrono Cross too. I would agree with you that I think Trigger is obviously.
bringing it all out. We're almost at a point where you can start doing some fine-tuned details.
I would. I love that game. But again, we're already a little long in the tooth here with a lot of the. We're gonna have to cut things out, so that probably would be a game that would just be cut out. So we might as well just cut it out now.
Okay. Super Mario RPG. I don't think so either. It's I
cool
love
that it's a
that game,
SquareSoft game, but no.
It's great, but I wouldn't put it in my top. Two games I insist on: Donkey Kong Country 2 and Yoshi's Island.
You love that.
I wouldn't agree with Yoshi's Island, but I know how you feel about it. I'm not going to begrudge you that. Donkey Kong Country 2 is fine. I think.
Yo, Creative Mind, welcome back, girl.
I think 2 is
But I think
so
2 is
much better.
2 is better than the first one.
3 sucks.
Yeah, 3 is just I guess 2 is fine.
2 is one of the best platformers of all time.
Okay, now we can start
Even at the time, like, Donkey
really
Kong,
getting in
the
this.
Nintendo
This is
Power Cover,
without it. This is with
I
it.
don't know, because I wasn't-
Without
I
it,
was so
with it.
Getting into RPGs at that time, I didn't care about any of this shit. And Donkey Kong was so archaic to me, and they really did
Merge
something special with it.
layers.
But yeah, I have no problem with it being on the list. I think Mega Man X should absolutely be on the list. I don't think there's any
The
question
first
about
one?
that. I would again. So this is where like X.
Mega
is
Man
there,
X,
you know,
yes.
I would say that they got better. X. X is the one that's most nostalgic for me. I think X3 is the best one. I was playing a lot of X2 in particular.
X4 was so good
Nephew
too.
When I went home for Thanksgiving, that game's phenomenal. But again, we're gonna have to prune. So I would put.
I give that. I
yeah,
definitely stand by X. I'm not an Earthbound guy.
I'm not either. I mean, it's fine, but it's not my thing.
Let's just start with a face.
Contra 3.
Glad to glad to have you back.
That's what it is. I think that you need to have a Contra game. I think that 3 is the right call. Sure. I don't know if you need
I'm doing well. All things considered.
Oh,
that'll slide.
Our heat stopped working in our apartment.
Contra's amazing.
I don't know if it started working now.
It's more stylistic. It adds more to it.
Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure.
it's different, though. I think too.
Contra means more.
No.
More
Economic
depends.
out?
Metal Slug?
Metal Slug I think is bigger than Contra, but at that time, Metal Slug didn't even exist. So, I don't know. I mean, I would still. I mean, if we're gonna put a Contra game, I'd put the NES one on. But
Over Shadow Soldier?
yeah, I mean, again, I think it's more of a. I love the NES and I have a nostalgic element to where the Contra. If you think that one belongs there, I'm not gonna tell you no. I think a Contra game should be on there. We don't really have any of that kind of game
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I
on the list.
when you're pruning down to 100, I think I would put Metal Slug 3 over Contra. But for now, whatever. Let's just put Contra. Turtles in Time.
I love that game, but
I love it, but I just feel like that style of game is, it just doesn't hold up. Like the just side-scrolling like beat 'em ups, like having Streets of Rage, I think is enough. Like that added a bit more depth. Whereas like all the licensed stuff, The Simpsons, X-Men,
Yep.
Ninja Turtles, fantastic, awesome, great, but like I don't think that you need to put them on the 100 list.
What about Super Castlevania? You were making that case for that earlier.
I think, I mean I had experience with that game, and the NES ones were frustrating me, and I think that Super Nintendo just kind of solved a lot of problems and made these games fun.
I think you should put Super Castlevania on the list.
We
Personally.
don't.
But there ain't no shame in having as much Castlevania as possible. You haven't seen the last of them. Friends.
Mon ami.
Didn't know it was not working. You had no heat in your last apartment, but you live in Cali, so it's not snow cold.
Kirby
Like you need to
Superstar,
buy you.
There's no Kirby game. That
Hey, I got my Kigurumi on right now. Like I'm feeling pretty fantastic. I had a little to drink, so I'm also feeling a little bit less in terms of the heat, or the lack of heat, I should say. I do have a space heater here. I don't know if you can see it in the background. And it's there. Just trust that it's there, which does help. I don't have it on right now, but I probably will be turning it on at some point.
Any version of it. Game Boy, Super Nintendo, Pokemon
So
Pokemon.
it could be so much worse. You know,
I wish
things
it
could
was
be
Tetris Attack on Super Nintendo.
things could almost always be worse. Things are really fucked up right now,
Yosh.
but
Super Star Wars.
It could be worse.
The Super Star Wars games are great, but
I put them in the same category as the Disney games, where it's like, yeah, they're great, but they're not really.
no, and which one do you choose?
Sunset Riders is fucking dope.
I don't even know what that is.
This like side-scrolling shoot 'em up Western game with a badass soundtrack.
Uj Nagaya. I was excited when that came out. Secret of Evermore.
Pilot Wings.
Pilot Wings fucking sucks. Oh, I hated that game.
Super Bomberman.
I don't think I played Super Bomberman.
I think the best version of like. Do you guys agree that a version of Bomberman?
No.
Really?
I personally don't know, but
I used to love Bomberman. You kidding me?
I never played.
That isn't enough snow. Oh, enough in snow, you could die. Cali girl, house of 50 or lower makes you cry. Listen, you better not be crying with no 50 or lower. We've had like negative before. We've had legit negative,
Yeah.
which was terrible. It was not good, but
All right.
'Cause you guys know I live in Boston, right?
Whatevs. We're moving on.
How Master System has one game.
As you'd expect.
Is N64 the right place to go from here?
Yeah, N64,
Okay.
PS1, and Saturn. PS1 technically came out first, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. There's no science here. Doing N64,
Yeah,
Super Mario 64.
of course.
And then both Zeldas, I think, that's put on there.
Yes, agreed. Ocarina, Majora, both fantastic.
I have Ocarina of Time for my
That's Russ.
yeah, Boston.
What do you want to do?
Wait, Creative Mind, you from Boston too?
We fucked with it hardcore, but like then you go back now and it's
Talking about
play.
cold.
Yes. Yes.
You're right.
GoldenEye's
This
so
could be
good.
worse.
Solid points.
I mean, it's just our, you know, the nebulous list here. And the
Negatives. Nope.
nebulous
Nope.
numbers.
Nope. Nope. Yeah. Been outside and not enough clothes in the negative.
I think that you
Yeah.
have to, because it
Yeah. It's not good.
changed the game, you know what I mean?
I can tell you that right now. It is not a happy time to be outside.
I mean, yeah, we'll put it.
It's not my favorite thing about Boston. I like a lot of different things about
I think
this area,
that
but
the argument can be made, I think,
that isn't one of those
it's a better
things.
game, but
But it's not
we stand by
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Yeah. GoldenEye's the one you still talk about. I'm
Mario
throwing out
Kart
some,
64.
whatever.
The battle mode alone makes
Sure,
it fucking awesome.
whatever. It was fine. It was no double dash. We'll get you double dash soon enough. Now I'm gonna do the same thing that I think you're on the same. I would put Smash on here. I loved it.
this
I mean,
one.
like, man, but I mean, this is just what games we fucked with or did. I mean, like, this is another game that I played nonstop.
But when you look at the Smash franchise,
Sure, but we've said we can have all these different things.
we can, and I think I'd have all of them except for 64.
Because we're hating ass here. You can cut it now because I'm sure that would get pruned out eventually. But I'm still throwing it out there so
Okay.
it was heard.
Okay.
Oh, you're from Chicago. Okay, gotcha.
I fucking love
Yeah,
Smash.
Sha-
Melee is like-
Sha
they
City.
fucking Took it to the next level and then Brawl.
Shy City can get pretty
Triple
cold.
Took it to the next level and like took a sidestep, and then the Wii one pushed it ahead. But
I would make a case, although I don't know which one you would necessarily choose. I love Mario Party. And I feel like that was a really special game on N64. And the first one I think was extraordinarily good.
I mean, the first three were great.
Yeah.
I think 2 is probably the safest bets in terms of collection of mini games.
But is this the one that really make the list? You think? I feel like
Mario
this.
Party?
Is, yeah, I feel like this is another one that'll end up getting cut. But I don't mind. Again, we can have 10,000 games on the list.
Yep.
There are no rules in Tim
Yeah.
Getty's list worlds.
I don't know. I think even at the end of the day, Mario Party needs to be there.
Okay.
And I think the 2 is the right answer. 3 was the Western one. Things about it.
I'm in a position with N64 where there are actually quite a few games I love on there, but I don't think would make the list or be on the list for everyone. Like, I think Castlevania 64 and Legacy of Darkness are both underrated games, and they're great. I love Hybrid Heaven. There's certain games on there where I'm like, you know, I think that N64 had a decently strong. I think people would obviously make a case for Conquer and stuff like that, but I wouldn't put those games on there.
Conker's great, but I wouldn't put it there either. Star Fox 64 for me. I love Star Fox, and I think that game is the best the series will ever be. So
I also think, although it's controversial and doesn't really hold up, that I hated Pilot Wings on SNES, but Pilot Wings on N64 was
it had something.
it was better. I mean, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that we've seen everything to play.
Yeah, that was it. That's all you had.
And this is something that I know people will be upset about, but again, it's my list. And Banjo Kazooie and 2 did nothing for me, and I never really got into them. So
Yeah, me neither.
Greg.
I was way out of platform.
No, I did not like. Those didn't click for me.
Let's see. Ooh, F-Zero X.
Pokemon Snap, son.
Pokemon Snap. I can't do it. I can't bring myself
way.
to give a spot to Pokemon Snap, even though I love it. Rogue Squadron. Ooh. But that's a game that is like as cool as it was. It's not great.
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, but that's another. Shadows of the Empire to me is a game. It feels like an NES game on N64, where it's
I
like
was so enamored
almost,
with, I
guys,
was so enamored
almost.
with that game. I really was.
1080 snowboarding. Lord.
Wave Race.
Turok. Wave Race.
Turok. I mean, it was another one. That like cerebral bore and I think it might have been Turok 2 or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like Turok was hot for the time. Again, I think it'd be one of the ones that gets cut.
That's
so
the thing is why I think you boil that down to GoldenEye to represent
exactly
that. Yoshi's Story does not make the goddamn list. You can die in a fucking fire.
Wow.
Shit.
Sorry.
I did not like Yoshi's story.
Nah, son.
Nah, son.
Now,
Yeah, but we're not gonna.
It's a
that's not gonna
great
be the one.
game, but Toadstool Tour
is the one
obviously
that's
is
gonna
gonna
get
get
it.
it.
Okay.
Gotta be Beers with that, right?
Beetle Adventure Racing. Fantastic racing game. Late in the N64's life. Some of the longest tracks ever. Super fun. Not going to make the list, okay?
A Superman 64.
Star
gonna
Wars
make
Episode 1 Racer. Want to give you a shout out, but I'm
Use the
sorry,
two
bud.
controllers.
Sorry, bud. Yeah. And Cruising USA. Cruising World. Cruising Exotica. You did something.
Fun in the arcades.
You did something good. I think that's it.
Okay.
So we're just gonna go top down from where we are now
It does sound
and
wrong.
work our way down.
Parse things down anyway, so this is a pretty good complete list. I think.
Diddy Kong Racing didn't do anything
No.
for me.
Wrote the guide for that on when it came to
You want to draw one day? Yo, Mr. Yotsuya, welcome. You want to draw one day? Yeah, you should draw. You absolutely should draw.
Yeah,
You should draw tonight. You should draw right now.
on to that there PlayStation 1.
But yes, Mr. Yotsuya, what's going on? Welcome. How you doing, my friend?
Final Fantasy 7.
I am just chilling, listening to a podcast and making some things look pretty. You know what? I think I want to do an auction for this piece.
Wow.
I want to do an auction using I don't know, either using Oni Souls or just using money. I'm not really sure how it's gonna work if we use the Oni Souls.
Oh man, this gets hard.
But I feel like I want to start the year off with people using the Oni Souls for something more than bragging rights right now.
2 is the 10 out of 10 classic.
So I don't know how I'm gonna work that. It's just gotta take a financial hit to make that happen, you know?
It means so much to me that
Take one for the
it needs to be
team.
on this list, and I feel like it needs to be represented correctly.
Even though right now is really not the time to take a financial hit.
So I think I might have to give it to 4. I feel like 4 is the most complete game in the whole franchise.
Then we wait.
I'm gonna wait. But I mean, I love you, Tony.
Symphony of the Night.
Yes, of course. Jesus. Thank you, Greg.
No problem.
I knew you were good for something.
And my good looks. Kevin, give me more.
You hear the other person in the background. That's pretty
Kevin's
funny.
having too much fun with buttons. Don't worry about it. I mean, the big question, Tam.
Oh, try and motherfucking stop me. It's happening. It's happening. I'll only do 1.5. Because I'm telling you right goddamn now, there's no way Crash Team Racing's not on this list.
Okay.
So, CTR for sure. Now, which Crash do I give it to? I recently beat 2. I'm trying to hold off on 3 to get a little closer to the remastered thing. But 3 is my fucking favorite. So, for now...
Chat being buggy had to refresh. Oh, I understand.
I mean, because the list is getting
I
so
understand.
big of a list, like, I basically have everything I would represent here on this list already, so I step back at this point, including Metal Gear. I mean, I think those first 6 games are immaculate. It's an immaculate list of games. Incredible list of games. It really is. Metal Gear Solid.
subtle dig at Crash.
Oh, well, I can't speak. I don't,
6 games.
well, I mean,
There's
he was
7
writing
on the
Crash.
list.
He was writing Crash Team Racing. And I don't think I even played that game.
Crash Team Racing. I mean, Crash Team Racing, honestly, like, I'm just going to do it right now. I'm going back to the N64 and I'm deleting Mario Kart 64.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, Daniel.
You see the YouTube Rewind video?
No. Oh, yeah, I did see it. I
He's
did
in
see
there,
it.
steps out. There's a moment. It's like,
I mean, there's just so
Alright,
much shit on
PlayStation.
I mean, we can go down the fucking rabbit hole on PS1, but like very deep down the rabbit hole. Brave Fencer Musashi, Thousand Arms,
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah, that's one you're going to sit for.
Tactics Ogre.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal 2, black. Only one deserves it.
I think do black.
Okay.
Hold it for black.
Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3,
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill, and of course, Silent Hill 2.
So of those games, do you think any actually make it? Keeping in mind remake.
Yes. Okay, that's a great point. So no, so that takes the original off the board. Nemesis on Dreamcast, I think, was the one people loved, right?
Code Veronica.
Oh no, Code Veronica. That's the one I'm thinking of. Okay. Yes.
Oh man.
First Resident Evil. Then on PS2 when it finally got ported over.
Yeah.
Nemesis is 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's the one.
Yeah. People don't really like to. People love 2.
2
But
Why is this being so
personally,
weird?
I say remake gets it.
and Resident Evil 0.
No. You see the shit that came out yesterday for the new Resident Evil CG movie, where it's Rebecca all grown up,
Oh, interesting.
looking damn good.
Interesting. There were games on. So I loved Siphon Filter at the time and all those. But
Yeah, but Siphon, yeah.
Shout out to Siphon
It's
Filter.
worth giving the shout out for. That was my initial reaction too. But Metal Gear is such a better game. Not to mention that when you go back and play Siphon Filter, like, ooh, this is.
But Twin Snakes. This is what I was gonna say. But
No.
if we're going to make the argument that certain game like remake is gonna on GameCube will replace this, then Twin Snakes.
No, Twin Snakes is good. It is not Metal Gear Solid though.
So here's
it
the
breaks
thing.
it. First person breaks
Silicon
it.
Knights, bro.
You fucking just back yourself into the corner against
fucking
Gray
shoot the
Fox. You're
tank,
like bam, bam,
and you're good.
bam, bam, and Gray Fox is coming. Make me feel
I'm
alive.
with you. That's an interesting one because I know that I'm on the wrong side of it. I like Twin Snakes better than the OG one, and I think that a lot of that has to do with when I played it.
Sure.
And also just being able to play it now. MGS1 is rough to play now. Twin Snakes is not, but it does make it too easy.
Yo, Lauren, what's going on, girl? You might be slow on talking. Your friend came on and you got him on his channel. Absolutely, Tsukino. Thank you. Thank you for doing so anyway. I wanted to let you guys know also that I probably won't be streaming tomorrow.
Shout out to Parappa the Rapper.
A shout out though, not a spot.
Yeah, I would if the game was 5 times longer than it is. But the game can literally be beaten in 120
Yeah, I don't.
but
great, but
that was really that was a paradigm shifting game for me, just in the sense of like I really didn't know that games could even do that or be that way, and then that opened up a whole window into DDR and all these kinds of things later. What Konami was doing, and I don't know. I like that game.
Will make the list.
I'm not sure which one. I love DDR, but
DDR Extreme on the PlayStation 2. I would make an argument that it could be between that or DDR Max.
I remember those stupid mats.
Ooh, my body's sore.
Shit out of them. Go buy another one. I played a lot of
Xenogears.
Xenogears is incomplete. I think it's a great game. I would say Brave Fencer Musashi should be on the list. I know a lot of people don't know or like that game as much as I do. But again, if we're gonna have to start cutting and culling the list, then those are the kinds of things that are gonna go. I see it on there, Street Fighter Alpha 3. I would make a great case for Street Fighter Alpha 3. That game fucking rules.
It's awesome.
rules. And I think
favorite Chun-Li costume, outfit, whatever you want to call it.
just my favorite cast of characters.
Really?
Yeah, like just like the most complete cast.
That's crazy.
Cody's in it and all these I was obsessed with Cody. Not from playing as him, but just like I love the idea of this character from really another franchise coming in, and he's handcuffed, and it's all cool. And I was actually pretty nasty at that game, so I loved it. I would put Alpha 3 on the list. But
I want to give. Do you? I'll give you Alpha 3. We'll put it there. Where are we at? PS1.
that's not an insult to Alpha 2. That's not an insult to Street Fighter versus X-Men or anything. Those are all good games. But I think that was the best one.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Marvel vs. Capcom, can't give it to 1.
No, 2.
Will
And
give
then
it
you go
to
to Dreamcast for that.
Yes, absolutely. I want to give a shout out to Spyro. I'm not going to put it on the list. Love Spyro, but I get it. Guys.
As long as you get it.
I got to be careful with my
I feel like we're missing
platformer
things. I
picks.
feel we're definitely
Spyro
missing
1, amazing. Spyro 2, better. Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon, didn't like it as much.
I'm racking my brain trying to figure out the games that you guys would actually care about on PS1. Because I can rattle off 100 of these fucking games, but you guys didn't care about.
Oddworld, I wouldn't put it on. Great game, but
Yeah, no, it doesn't
wouldn't
belong
do
on
it.
this.
Wipeout, never been a fan. F-Zero's better. Tomb Raider, none of them.
No, those games
actually
don't
make
hold
the
up.
list.
That's
So those
but
games
there's a
don't hold
shout out
up.
for sure to them. If
Definite
we're in the
shout out.
moment of what they meant.
Yeah,
I think that's probably fine.
I'm good to move on. Good to move on from that.
Saturn. There are a few that you could make a case for. I think everyone would make the case for Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, people adored that game. It was also super hard to find, as people might remember. Very underprinted, very rare game.
And not enough on-rails games like that. Like Star Fox, I love it. I think Star Fox, to me, is better just because of the characters and shit. But Panzer Dragoon is a better game.
What else? Well, you had a Saturn, Greg, so what did you
I
care about?
mean, Nights into Dreams.
Shout out to Knights.
But I think it gets a shout out, right?
Just a shout out.
Yeah,
I
that's the thing. Is
love
like there was a
those.
lot of great experiences I had on my Saturn, but games on the top 100 that I stand behind and get a seal of approval. Whoa, that's a tougher sell. It feels like on everything.
I would just at least a shout out to Bomberman on Saturn.
Sure.
For the multiplayer alone. Saturn
But it's like, yeah, like virtual cops on here. It's like I remember playing that and enjoying it, but I mean, I don't need to put it up there.
People love Radio
Do I play
Silver.
MMOs? I actually played an MMO today. I played Black Desert Online. I don't usually play MMOs, but I'm not objected to them. Reading good things, reading about things in Final Fantasy 14. The thing is, I don't want to play an MMO that I have to pay for monthly. And I think Final Fantasy 14 was one of those games, but then again, I don't know if that's the case anymore. But also, I like MMOs that are action-based gameplay. So Blade and Soul and Black Desert are my style of MMO. I really like those games.
I was exposed to Saturn. My brother lived with this guy named Ducky
Ducky!
in Philadelphia, and he had a Saturn.
Does this feel right? Do I have to bring that up more?
John Humes. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, just to let it go.
All right, cool. So Saturn, yeah, we just got answered.
I think he asked you this eons ago. No. You never asked me this specifically.
Moving on.
At least I don't think you did.
Here we can make some interesting takes here.
Crazy fucking taxi.
Yes. I mean, I think you have to crazy taxi. I also think you put Power Stone on it. Now, which Power Stone?
2.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Power Stone 1, dude.
Where's Capcom?
Yep. 2. I mean, again, if we're gonna be calling, I mean, I there were games that I fucking loved on Dreamcast like that. People were like, I love Blue Stinger and all these games. People were like,
Blue Stinger was terrible.
I fucking hated Seaman. Oh god, I hated that game. It just creeped me out. Buddy of mine was into that too, Cody.
Cody and Ducky out on an adventure playing some Seaman.
What Ducky's up to?
Those boobs on her. Yeah.
Why they
Oh, you have to pay for it? Yeah, fuck
That
that.
was like literally 12.
Yeah, this is Laura. Laura's got some tit hairs on her.
all questions of that?
She's got some tit hairs.
It's not my
We
thing.
didn't fuck with Shenmue.
No,
Okay.
Shenmue is good, but again, like, no.
Now,
Sorry.
I gotta put it out there. Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 suck. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah,
What? Sonic Adventure 1 was so
I
good.
feel like people are lying to themselves that they like those games because those are not good.
At the time, I did like Sonic Adventure, although it was because I just needed something to play
There's
on it.
things about them, aspects about them that are cool. Escape from the City and the snowboarding and Sonic Adventure 2 is great, but I mean, it's not that great. Jet Set Radio Future.
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur, definitely.
Yeah,
GameCube?
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah, all right, well, hold on.
Skies of
Skies
Arcadia.
of Arcadia. Shout out to Skies of Arcadia, although also on GameCube.
GameCube kind of gave a second life to Dreamcast.
Sega started just dumping shit there. Shout out, although I didn't play it, I knew a lot of people that did and loved it. Phantasy Star Online.
Oh,
Yeah.
People fucking loved it, and I think it's still running on private servers to this day, by the way.
Space Channel 5. Sega's answer to Parappa. Nope.
Shout out. Move on.
Samba de Amigo.
Samba de Amigo.
Shout out to that.
Yeah,
Shout
shout out. Rez first came out there. Choo Choo Rocket. Shout out.
Garuga. There's a.
Ruga's good.
They had a really. I mean, we have to remember Dreamcast had 17 months on the market, and in that short, and in America, because it was $99.99. It was discontinued, I think, April 2001, and in that short amount of time, I don't know if you have a console that accumulated that many fucking good games in less than 18 months. So shout out to Dreamcast generally.
Shout out to Dreamcast.
Console. And in the middle console, it's failed for the same reason Wii U failed. It follows certain protocols.
House of the Dead.
Well,
Typing in the dead.
for the record, I think the Dreamcast was ahead of its time. The Wii U, I don't know. So they didn't feel. They were both middle consoles that led to part of the problem, but.
Shout out also to NBA 2K and
Yeah.
NBA 2K1. Those are both great games.
Yeah. Amazing games. I personally couldn't stand by it because of NBA Street Volume 2.
And also, well, yes, there are better games on PS2 and another. I mean,
Very
NBA
different.
2K17, but but also the online component of it was what really made those games tick. And obviously, you can't do that anymore because I really was flabbergasted playing those games online in 2000. I was like, this is unbelievable. The
Yeah.
keyboard plugged in.
Yeah.
It's like this is insane. Like I don't understand how this is possible. This is so cool. I don't know who the fuck I'm playing against, but
You
I'm
guys
typing
like
shit.
Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and all those?
I'm not into those.
Me neither.
Shout out
I
to
played
Amy
them. They were fun, but yeah, no, don't need to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we have a pretty complete list.
Yeah, Rayman 2, and again, shout out. I like you, but you don't make the list.
You don't love me.
Okay, cool. We're done with
Now we get on to PS2. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yep.
Sons of Liberty. The best Metal Gear game.
That is not the best Metal Gear game. You're fucking crazy.
Batman.
I love how Kevin's not even half asleep, 90% asleep. But then his brain heard Metal Gear Solid 2.
Metal Gear.
Animusha.
God, yes.
3.
Here we go. Here come the arguments.
Yes. 3.
No! 2 does not make the goddamn list. 4. No!
Dawn of Dreams, bruh. Dawn of Dreams.
Oh,
4 doesn't make
I
the
think
list,
I
but
think we can both agree the first one belongs on the list.
Yes.
I can never agree with you that the third one's gonna go on the list. If you really feel passionately about it, you can put it on it.
I love it.
I can't.
I fucking love that.
3 was great.
I'm gonna say that we double.
The audio is quiet. I could turn it up a little bit, indie, but it is a little bit low.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Just one. We'll put
Dawn of
one.
Dreams.
Yeah, it is the podcast.
Best Animusha game we ever got.
Can't even hate on it. I can't even hate on it. I didn't play it out of just outrage. I want Samanosuke.
It was
That's
very.
why I didn't like 2 either.
It was very late too. I think 2006. Oh, if I remember correctly.
But okay, so
Early
Metal Gear.
2005.
Going back to Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 3
Yeah.
doesn't make the list.
Not to me, but
I say no.
Yes.
It's,
Fucking awesome game.
It's my least favorite.
What?
And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's my least favorite steak. Like I enjoy the game, but it's just not. It's not my one that I really love. Right?
They're fucking crazy.
Keeping it off. It's our list. We stand by it. Fuck you. Make your own podcast and get your own list going. If you want that. Now, what about the GTA's? What do we want to do here?
Oh. I think
in Vice City.
You're gonna leave off San Andreas?
Yeah.
Why? Too much?
Too much. They went too far with San Andreas. I think that was a pretty collective agreement too back in the day. I mean, people loved it, but I think that Vice City was the perfect Grand Theft Auto game at that time.
And that's my thing is I agree. I think that I'd be okay with just putting Vice City. on
Just
the
Vice
list.
City, not doing 3.
3's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I do think that Vice City is just better.
Agreed. I agree.
And I think that that is the one I stand by that.
Okay.
Like even now.
No, I agree with what you're saying. It's just I always get so hung up on what 3 meant for the
Yeah.
industry and what it meant for me and all that stuff. But I understand what you're saying.
So what do you guys think? Do we put 3 and Vice or just
No,
Vice?
'cause what do we
we're
stand
gonna
by,
start-
right?
Yeah,
If-
Vice City is fine.
If you're gonna recommend this to somebody, now is anybody? What about Bully? Are we gonna talk about Bully?
I wasn't a Bully fan, but
really?
I would say
love Bully.
Manhunt over Bully.
Wow.
Do you put Bully on?
I mean, I loved Bully. It's a personal one, but if that's like fat, it can be a shout out.
You're jealous too?
Shout out to-
Awesome tab. Oh, thank you.
shout out to me.
Yeah, I love this tablet.
Uh,
Need whatever you need. Whatever. I don't even know what it is.
So
Your regular one. Yeah, the regular one is awesome. I have a Wacom.
Yeah, I would say
A
it
Wacom.
was awesome. It was- what
In
the-
203, I think, at
Not bad.
work.
It's a
I
good
leave that
game.
one at work, and I use this one here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love using this.
I mean, I think, and again, why we're putting a million on there? We only want one God of War?
I think so.
Okay.
I would put Dark Cloud on there.
Cloud
One, yeah.
Dark Cloud's pretty great.
Never
I'm
mind.
surprised you haven't put Final Fantasy on there.
Final Fantasy 10 is on. That's you can get 4. I get 10.
That's fine.
No, I don't need that.
No one means 11.
No one means 11.
Again, I'm like trying to just call my list in my head down. Well, first of all, there's way more GameCube games in our down this list than PS2 games. So let's just
Tim,
get
I
that
mean,
out of the
do
way.
you stand by Shadow of the Colossus?
I do stand by Shadow of the Colossus. I understand that can, I'm okay giving Shadow a shout out.
Okay.
Just because there's other games that I enjoy and love so much more, like NBA Street Volume 2, which I'm gonna add to the list right now. Oh, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4.
Oops.
Jack and Daxter. I will accept the Precursor's Legacy or 2. And I know that everyone hates 2, but I love 2. It's my list.
I would give a shout out to Ratchet as well.
Yeah, but are we
I
doing?
would give it to the PS4 one.
Yeah, that's the thing. Are we? Yeah.
But
Yeah, the PS4 one was pretty great.
fuck Jack and Daxter.
You'll fuck you.
Yeah, I wasn't a Jack guy.
Jack Daxter kind of sucks.
A lot of you were hating ass haters back then. You didn't understand.
No,
You didn't. It
I
was too
understand
much.
full
Here's the Horizon. There's no load screens. Fuck you, getting crashed.
Fine, then let's bring it
But
back
do
together.
you want Jack?
No,
You
it's fine. If no one stands by, I don't care.
You don't stand by it that much?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna put up a thing for it because we can come together on one. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time.
A motherfucking man. No?
I never liked the Prince of Persia.
Oh, you are crazy.
I'm not even sure
Sands
which
of
one I
Time.
played. To be honest.
All 3 of them are great, and I think that 2 and 3 are underrated. But Sands of Time is the one that I can
Sands of Time came out in 2003. That's the one I had. I think.
2002.
Yeah, it was my first year at the
So I didn't have that on Xbox. So.
Use yours for editing, but you imagine that one works great. Yeah, it does. It really does.
I never bought Deus Ex. Big mistake.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 12, no. Not for me. Okami. I don't like
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, fuck. As a whole, I'll give it to Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, I think that is my favorite one, and the franchise needs to make some appearance.
I feel like it'll end up getting cut, so it can't just be a shout out. But Odin Sphere.
Never played.
Odin Sphere was awesome.
It's a good choice for a Vanillaware game. I would put Dragon's Crown up over it, but yeah, I mean, you can put it on there if you want. That was a beloved PS2 game. You spelled, by the way, Cloud wrong in Dark Cloud. Just gonna save it for the comments.
Klaus, Dark Klaus.
I'm horrible at typing, everybody.
What else?
There's Burnout.
The Sly Cooper. He was a
Sly
thief.
Guy.
I would give it to Sly 4 overall.
Yeah, yeah.
You think, really?
Later on,
Okay,
we're talking about
we'll
the
get
PS4.
Because my thing is, when we start talking about like that generation of
PS4.
platformers
Sly
and stuff,
Cooper
it's
didn't
like-
come out on PS4. It
in
came
the
out on
same way that
PS3.
with PS1, I gave it to Crash over Spyro, and that stuff. It's like I think Ratchet gets it, and I think Ratchet's above Sly. And
Sure,
Jack
I agree.
Knight.
I agree. Took me a long time to come around to that, but I agree.
Silent Hill 2 is really good, but it's not that special to me. So.
No, not to me either. It is a good game. I mean,
So
that's a
that
good
looks
game.
pretty good.
Gran Turismo
I gotta
3
say.
People love that.
We have so much more we have to do on this, so I don't want to get too caught up on doing the braids, but I think I laid a foundation for what that should look like, and I like it.
I wouldn't stand by any of them anymore.
Metronome on crack. It's a little thing going on in the upper left corner. Oh, so that is this particular brush I'm using. Depending on what angle I'm
I
using,
think that both Guitar Hero and Rock Band 2 deserve
depending on what angle that I'm holding the brush in, that's what you're seeing.
Great idea, but it needed a little bit of refinement. Rock Band 2 provided that for that.
Also, I have to pee, but I don't feel like getting up.
From a
I feel like I
technical
say that
standpoint,
way
just,
too often.
Difficulty and everything being super smooth. Guitar Hero 1 was fucking rough. It just did not ever feel right. 2 fixed it all, but Neversoft came in to do 3, and they like the set list was just perfect. So I don't know.
Okay, you want to put both of them?
I think so. If I had to choose, I would cut Rock Band.
You cut Rock Band.
Mhm.
You're fucking crazy.
Because I think Guitar Hero, from a gameplay perspective, nails it way more than Rock Band does. Rock Band nails it from an experience perspective.
Yeah. Rock Band. Newman Sky and Rock Band.
But then Rock Band was next gen.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know. It all started conversation here. Was it Guitar Hero 3 PS2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? It was also on.
Got you.
I need to put Devil May Cry on there.
Okay.
Ooh,
Let's
yes.
put DMC on there when we get to.
No.
Yeah, DMC.
He said don't.
Starring Ray Gutierrez.
Looking?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just
I
a joke at the time.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 3 is the best. 2 just doesn't exist.
3 was the best Devil May Cry.
But I'm just gonna.
2 doesn't exist. You're right.
3 is better. I stand by 1. Like the atmosphere of 1
For
is
Devil May
just,
Cry.
yeah. And without Devil May Cry, we would have never gone on Mission 3.
That's true.
None of us would stand by it, but shout out to SOCOM 2.
Oh yeah.
Time Splitters.
Oh, Time Splitters for me on GameCube. Time Splitters 2. Sure. Absolutely. Good lord, that game's good.
Okay. Now, see, should I start doing more of the braids or should I do more of the face? I feel like I should do the braids later because that's like a very fine detail. So what we did was we started with a very solid block. Then we started refining and started defining forms and shapes, or more forms than shapes.
Or will we?
Now we're going through and adding some of the actual
PlayStation 2.
shapes of things. We're adding the details in the eyes. We're adding like shading in the lips and stuff like that. If I do the hair, that's like a very fine detail thing. So I think I'm gonna wait to do that because I actually really enjoy doing the skin and I want to keep playing around with the skin. So let's do that.
Would you put Jade Empire?
No, I'm kidding. KOTOR.
KOTOR's definitely on there. I would put both Halos on there too.
I would put Halo 2, but not Halo. Well, maybe I would put Halo 1. Maybe.
Halo.
I guess you put Halo 2.
Yeah, put Halo 2 on
I put Halo 1.
Halo 2.
Like two had online. It's great, but like 1 was where the local multiplayer is when I think of Halo. And like that's what I stand by. Like I played online, but not extensively.
Gotcha.
But I played the living hell out of Halo.
Gotcha.
So do you guys think both?
I mean,
I defer to
I'll
you.
kind of defer to you. I mean, I'm surprised that Halo 2 is not the one, but I understand. Combat Evolved was the first one I played, obviously.
I mean, the thing is, just like for me, the maps in Halo 1 are so memorable with Beaver Creek or Battle Creek at the time, and Blood Gulch and Rat Race, and pretty much all the levels were iconic. 2, they had Coagulation, like remade a couple of the original ones, but they weren't as good. The Banshee kind of fucked everything up balance-wise and stuff. And again, I'm talking about very much my experiences with Capture the Flag and shit, but that's the one I stand by.
There are a lot of, like, I think, not middling, but great games that I play on Xbox that that deserve shout-outs, but not necessarily would be on the list. Deus Ex is one of them. Kill Switch, I think, is really good. And actually, Kill Switch is a massively fucking important game for cover-based third-person shooters.
It is.
But again, like, I was so distracted by GameCube this era that I barely played my Xbox. I didn't even get one until 2003, so.
Would you put Ninja Gaiden on there?
No, not personally. I never had like this association with this game that a lot of people do. I still think that I felt like it was a bastardization of what Ninja Gaiden was.
Oh, shit.
And they're brutally hard, and people love those games. And I'm not discounting that, but they're not for me. I wouldn't put one of those.
I'd like to put out here is a game I haven't played it since it launched, but Fable. I don't know if it's worth putting on the list or if it's just a shout out. I was looking for.
I didn't play it, so I don't know.
It's one of those that was when I didn't have an Xbox. My roommate Parker did, and I would go over to his room and sit there, and I would play Jade Empire. I was fucking around with it, and then I wanted to start playing Fable as well. I love Fable. I mean, but maybe it's just a shout out. I don't have strong enough feelings or memories of it to put on the list, but shout out to that.
So we passed by Jet Set Radio earlier when it was on Dreamcast. Now there's Jet Set Radio Future. I feel like those are games that I should love a lot more than I do, but I don't. So do you think either of them need to be on there? No? Okay. Crimson Skies, shout out.
Crimson
Crimson Skies.
Skies.
Panzer Dragoon Order, I remember people like.
It was good, but
Yeah.
it wasn't Saga. Project Gotham Racing, Mech Assault.
Oh,
cool.
the Chronicles.
Okay, Virgin Guide was awesome.
From Butcher Bay.
Oh, yeah, the old school one. Yeah,
That is an amazing game.
you right.
Forgot about that
They
game.
remastered it not too long
Yeah,
ago, right?
and they released a new one too on
Yeah.
PS3, and then I think the remaster came with it or wasn't released around
Something
the same
like
time.
that, yeah. I think you got them both in one box. Yeah.
Conquer, Oddworld, Doom 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Shout out to that Xbox game that had the ridiculous controller. What was that one?
Steel
Steel
Battalion.
Battalion. Fuck, I hated that game. I remember at IGN they had. I'm like, this is insane. This is insane. This is a cool idea.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. But Jesus,
But shit, crazy.
this is insane.
For Alfredo, I got to give a shout out to the Splinter Cell franchise, but I was a Metal Gear guy, so.
Sure. Yeah, I did play those when they started coming to PS2, and then I think when I got my Xbox, and it was the same thing where I was like, man, it was pretty, and it was cool to shoot out light bulbs, but
Yeah.
I didn't worry about it.
It's cool to shoot out light bulbs. That's what he said. Oh, that's funny. Frank made you a mod just like 20 minutes ago. Yo, Lord, that's dope.
GameCube.
He wasn't expecting it. That's so cool. Oh, Watermelon. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Appreciate the hell out of that. That is very nice of you. Yeah, this is just the beginning, man. Like, not the beginning, but this is just the kind of
But my problem is
very early stages of this piece.
Similar to you talking about Mega Man, like for me, I think Mario's better than most of these, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree.
But Mario Sunshine.
Like, right now, I'm actually just going to render the skin first. Then I'm going to do the hair. I'm doing the eyes while I do the skin as well, because it's kind of like part of it. But
I really do feel like when
I really enjoy
Melee,
painting faces too.
like Sunshine to me, and like as a
Oops.
day one adopter of GameCube and having a lot of games, that was the first like phenomenal fucking game that I had on the console. Where I'm like, this game is awesome. This is what I wanted, because I got that the same day I got Onimusha 2, I think. And
Oh yeah,
and
August 26th.
yeah, and I almost forgot that
2009.
Onimusha 2 even existed. You know, it was just like I got to it. It was great. But Resident Evil 4,
Resident Evil 4 was great.
Super Mario Sunshine, no.
we can remove it later.
No, I'll
when
let
we
it
put
stay.
the
I'll
count.
let it stay.
Put Mario Golf up next.
Yeah, Mario
Toadstool
Toadstool
Tour.
4 for sure, and Double Dash I think would probably be on there
Yes,
for Greg.
it fucking will be.
Mario Golf.
I'm trying to like restrain myself here because we can. Put
Oh shit! What tool am I using to smooth out tones? And second, what Marlos? Thank you, Demos. I appreciate that. Mythic May, hey. Well, we got a bunch of DJ Tex people up in here right now. That's a lovely thing. Lovely thing.
The GameCube version. Link is
But I'm actually just using the same brush to do
clearly
the smoothing out tones and kind of deciding tones. This is actually, I believe it's a natural brush.
Doesn't even say anything. It's actually not even a real
So if you
brush.
go under natural brushes 1, and then this is like brush, what is this one?
God, I want to give a million shout outs on
Round blunt streaks. This is one of the ones that I started using to kind of create a textured feel to the piece. I wanted to do something that was, because I found that when I did like the standard brush and just kind of softened it, or used a standard brush and hard one, it was too, it didn't feel right. It was too soft. It was too kind of plasticky. I wanted to do something that gave it a little bit more life. And absolutely, Mythic May, no problem. No problemo.
Shout out to Luigi's Mansion.
Thanks for tweeting to me.
The Luigi Mansion IGN guide. Remember when Hillary did this?
Oh,
And he
the-
just did it in MS Paint, and it was just like a drawn map of what to go do.
So funny.
Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime. I would put Metroid Prime 2 on there as well, and I would put I'd put Wind Waker on there.
Okay, yeah.
So let's do Metroid Prime 1.
Yeah,
and then
I
let's
think
do
2
Wind-
gets
and then
the
let's do
cut.
Wind Waker.
Great game, but I mean, Metroid Prime is by far the best of the trilogy.
I wouldn't disagree. I was more disappointed with 3.
Yo, Marcus, what up?
Did add the.
Not texture?
I think
What?
that the superior version of Metroid Prime is the Wii one.
What tool? No, I'm using the brush tool. I'm just literally just using the brush tool. You drawing Brazilian booty right now? Yes, I am, Marcus. Yes, I am.
Well, no. I think that it's one or the other.
It's
but
redundant.
We'll give it to you for PS1. Paper Mario 1000 Year
We
Door.
got that Brazilian booty up here.
Oh, we put Melee.
F-Zero GX. For fucking fast, crazy shit, I think that it is the best of the best.
Oh no, there it is. And that's the last time
So I'm just
we got-
kind of
no, that's not-
going to do a pan out so you can see what the rest of it looks like. It's
But F-Zero
very
GX
rough.
is
There's much work that needs to be done on it, but we are getting farther. The piece is coming out pretty good. We got a lot of work we still have to do, but it's going to be awesome. You're doing a media course, you mess around with Photoshop a bit, but this shit is genuinely inspiring. Hey, absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I want to inspire more people to create art. How long have I been working on this, if I don't mind?
the Arrow mission's not the rest of the
Oh, that's a great question. I think this is my 3rd day working on it. I think this is the 3rd day, right? Earlier I was doing some gaming live streaming, but now I'm doing some artwork. So I try to do a mixture of both. I try not to do only one or the other. Working on it. Oops.
I think this is
Sorry about that. Earlier I was doing some oh my god. Gaming live streaming. I just pressed the mute button and it just was not muting. So now I'm press the pause button.
Awesome, but I think that
But yeah, this is one of those pieces where I actually wanted to paint lower for a while, but I had to work on some other pieces. I had some commission stuff, and I had some things that people were like legit asking for because they wanted to get something for Christmas present for other people. Like they wanted to buy a print so that they can give it as a Christmas gift. So I had to do the Father Son Kamehameha. Actually, I can quickly show you guys what those pieces were.
Banana splits on it.
no banana splits. No.
New window.
Player was so good.
blackonlyblog.com. Do I have to pee right now, by the way? And I really don't want to. Let's go to the store.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Zelda 4 Swords Adventures was fucking awesome. But again, shout out. Also, Pokemon XD and Pokemon Coliseum. Full-fledged
Dude, I pressed the
RPGs
store button like
like
ages ago.
constantly, like,
Why isn't this loading up?
They were decent, but shout outs.
I think this is a pretty complete list. I would give a shout out to a few other games, but I don't think necessarily would be on.
You hate going pee? Yeah, me
A
too.
lot of the Mario sports games were great around that time.
Okay, what is going on here?
The soccer one was really good.
Mario Tennis.
Is their site down or something? Like, is that what's good?
I like tennis games.
Well, I'll just show you through one of the other websites.
Was there one?
I've played.
Here's a bunch of other stuff that I've done.
Mario Tennis was
But
N64.
my latest piece is there's Mercy, a Valkyric Rescue. This piece right here, which I fucking adore, Rogue, no challengers, and this piece is Stillness in Her Breath. These are all pieces that I really, really, really adore. But yeah, these are some of my latest stuff. There's also one other piece that I'm trying to bring up right now. Oh yeah, see?
best.
Their site is down.
People are always like, "What's your favorite?"
That's wonderful.
GBA
So you
site?"
guys can even buy this print right
They're
now.
all awesome. Every one of
That's
them.
fucking wonderful.
Awesome. And I don't even know that I can put them in front of me
Well,
on the title screen. I
let
can
me
tell you
save
exactly
this and then just show you what I'm talking about.
So you would choose Circle of the Moon?
I think
Peeing
Circle
feels
of the Moon
good. Well,
is
you have to
awesome.
get up to
What a
pee.
great
You can't
launch
just
game.
like
I got
pee
that and
here.
Super Mario Advance.
What a great launch lineup.
Yeah, really good lineup. Yeah, there was like Super
So
Mario
I'm gonna
Advance,
go
a
pee
bunch
while
of
this file is loading. That's what we're gonna do. Make sure there's no hair caught.
vivid memories of buying it.
Oh.
Very
Great,
good.
2001, man.
All right,
I wanted to rent it.
Marcus, you
I wanted
stupid.
to rent it when it was coming out or whatever because I didn't want to buy it and try it. So I was gonna rent it on a trip to Mizzou and I never did.
Metroid Fusion, I fucking love, but I think that I'm okay with just having Super Metroid on there. But
Was it
also,
Zero
I think
Mission?
Zero Mission is my favorite Metroid. game.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because
it's-
we did forego the original Metroid, and I think you can make. I mean, Zero Mission is the original Metroid, so I think you could make the case for that.
Yeah, but I'm okay just having Super Metroid, and leaving it there if you are.
Yeah, I'm fine with that as well. Let me see the.
We got Minish Cap, Pokemon Ruby Sapphire,
Shout out to Fantasia Tales of Fantasia because that was the first time we ever got to play it.
Advance Wars.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Advance Wars was awesome.
Now, do we choose Advance Wars? Advance Wars and not the DS version?
Oh,
Yeah, the GBA
Okay.
game was the better one. IMO.
Mario Kart Super Circuit was fun for the time. Mario and Luigi. I don't think I put any of the actual like Mario RPG titles on the list, even though they're great.
Final Fantasy Tactics Advance was pretty cool. That game grew on me the more I thought about it, and when the second one came out, A2 or whatever, I liked it. I don't know that I necessarily put it on the list. We already have Final Fantasy Tactics on the list on the PS1, and I'm going to add another of the similar kinds of games when we get the PSP. So I think we can probably stop for now.
Yeah. The GBA had a lot of Super Nintendo ports. Golden Sun, shout out to you.
I liked Golden Sun. Reminds me of my 12th grade civics class because I would just play Golden Sun in it. Mr. Scott was the teacher. Didn't care too much about anything.
So
That was his last year.
Advance Wars or Advance Wars 2? I don't really. remember.
My memories are attached to Advance Wars.
Okay,
I remember
we'll put
that.
that there then.
Shout out to the Final Fantasy 6 port.
Yeah, it was great.
I don't know that I would put much of anything else on here because I mean I would put all of the Castlevania games that were available on there and everything. But we're getting like too. We're gonna have to go back and remove a bunch of shit at this point. So
Shout out to the Sonic Advance games. They were decent. All right.
I think we're good on GBA.
Yeah, me too.
We also have to remember that it
DS.
only had a few years really to thrive as well. DS you can get fucking nuts with. If you really want to get nuts with it, you can get nuts with it.
Elite Beat Asians.
Yes. Goddamn yes.
I would say Phoenix Wright, but I'm not really entirely sure which one. So I would just say Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I think that basically is a catch-all for
Okay.
all the goodness that Phoenix Wright represented. Those games were so special.
Tim, after some in-depth research, please change that to Advance Wars 2.
Okay.
New Super Mario Brothers, right? Wasn't that the?
Do you give it to it? Because I really don't.
Really, I fucking loved it.
That was awesome.
I
When I
thought
got
it
my
was awesome.
DS Lite and picked that up, I was like, holy shit, is this awesome.
You know, like
Man, I honestly I don't think that any of the new Super Mario Bros. Games make the
Wow.
list. I think they're all
They're fun, but not
great.
your thing, yeah.
Even New Super Mario Bros. 2 is I think the worst of them all. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is probably I'd say the strongest of any of them, and then the Wii U one, then the DS one. But yeah, I don't think that any of them would make it. But if you guys
no, I
try
mean,
for it.
I'm fine with that. I'm gonna go get my notebooks. I'm gonna start writing things down because I want to figure out how many of these we have to take off in a minute.
Okay.
Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars.
Oh, hey, it loaded finally. Jesus.
It's tomato.
The
tomato.
Rogue. Yeah.
I guess it would
Get
be
mad
better.
talent. You try to ride a dick, but yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I appreciate the support and the love, man. Like,
Yeah,
That was
that's
pretty
awesome.
was Chinatown Wars the
Can I
DS
see your deviant name again? Yes, you can. I can actually just leave you the link right here.
Yeah, I think you had better resolution stuff, but that's
Come
where you
on.
have to scratch your stuff too with the stylus and people like that.
Oh, it's where Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
I'm done.
I
Yeah,
peed.
I know I can hear it. It's crazy. Ooh.
Pikachu.
Is this where?
It's
Was Servo
Pikachu.
on
Get it?
debut one?
Ugh.
Yeah,
All right.
That was a hell of a game.
it was, but
You're not into it? You're
there's
not
a lot
feeling
of DS games that I'm like, man, I
And there's also another piece that I'm going to be working on after this. There's two more pieces that I'm going to be working on. There's that is not what I meant to open.
Kevin said that.
Open recent.
He's gonna
yeah,
hear
those
it.
Animal
Aranea. So this is Aranea, High Wind. Oh, yes, I am snuggly and warm. I love this Kigurumi. Also, the thing is still open. This one will be worked on some more. Obviously, this is at the very beginning phase. The armor is still being filled in. The alignment for the armor, the hand still looks a little awkward. I have to figure out how that's all going to work together. But that's what that one looks like. And open recent. Where is it? Where is it? This is an original character that you guys will be seeing more of by August, actually, of this year. So this is Kina. I think I'm going to spell her name Kina instead of Kiena. But yeah, she is a very interesting character. She's an assassin, a female warrior, also an archer, half elven, I should say. And really, really interesting backstory that I can't tell you guys too much about. If you were watching my streams earlier on, you would have heard what that was. But if not, then I can't tell you guys anymore, because now that I have kind of a plan set for when it's coming, I can't tell you too much more. So just know that this is what her end comic book design looks like. At least in terms of like her concept art. There might be a different variation or something else that I do to her later on, but this is what she looks like for now. And she's a very, very cool character. But aside from that, this is what we're working on now. And for those who just jumped in, this is what it looks like so far. There's so much work that needs to be done on it, but I'm really happy with it so far. So let's continue the action. Sequence? Oh, see, yeah, sequence. The sequence of wheel.
Dollars for them to kickstart that, do all these different things. Put Rock Band Unplugged on the fucking list.
Really?
Put Rock Band Unplugged on the fucking list.
Because there's probably nobody that played Rock Band Unplugged more than me.
Bullshit!
Because
I played more than you did.
It was the closest thing to Amplitude that I thought I was ever going to get
Here's
again.
the thing, though.
But it wasn't Amplitude.
It was better than Amplitude.
No, it wasn't.
It was much better than Amplitude.
So wrong. I'll put
where
it
you
on.
had all the different instruments you're able to go. They had DLC to Sin Wagon by Dixie Chicks. Come on, they had a better soundtrack than Amplitude.
No.
They had a better soundtrack than Amplitude.
No.
If there's one game I wish could somehow come to Vita, or anywhere, I didn't even care. They gave us Blitz. It was kind of like it, whatever. Rock Band Unplugged, criminally underplayed, fantastic.
It was fantastic. I mean, it wasn't.
It wasn't what now? Oh yeah, again,
But
I know it wasn't.
I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list,
Thank
Greg.
you, thank you.
It's
thank you.
there. What else for PSP?
Oh my god.
Now.
Siphon Filter. I'd want you to put Logan Shadow. Yeah. Siphon Filter's Logan Shadow. Of course, my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker.
Peace Walker was pretty great.
Much Kevin for the short clap. I never. This is blasphemy, I know, being the PSP guy. I never really cared for Loco Roco, but I'll bring it up because I gave it a shot at least.
Didn't either.
If anybody else had something to say about Loco Roco.
Now here's the thing. Now, Colin, I'll let you talk me out of it, but I would put Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII on that list.
I don't hate it. I don't hate the choice. I think Crisis Core was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Then boom,
And
it stays.
I think it's one of PSP's best games. The thing is that we have to start culling the list significantly. We're going to have to go back to the beginning and get rid of a lot of shit because we're over 100 now. I think this is a...
Give me 10,000, man.
It'd be 10,000.
Here's something I'll put out there for everybody.
Go for it.
If you only want one God of War, I actually enjoyed Ghost of Sparta more than any of them.
More than two?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 I think was important for the
We'll take
PS2.
2 off,
It was the end cap to that console. It was beautiful. It was great. It was a huge deal. It was everybody on board with it. But Ghost of Sparta was God of War in the palm.
I never played Ghost of Sparta.
It was a great NES emulator.
That is true. Shout out to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, but like I said earlier, give it to 2.
Now, this is one of those things I know you get fishy with the rules and you play loose and fast. I would put Luminous on here.
I was about to say.
But I'm also going to put it on the Vita list.
No, so you choose one Luminous.
Fucking shit, really?
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
I didn't do this on any of your nerdy ass NES games.
You could have. We're going to have to go back and remove it.
I try to be strategic, though. I tried to already prune. Would you really put Luminous twice?
Yeah. Honestly,
really?
I would argue for it to be one of the PS3, PSN games. So there you go. Don't talk to me about Luminous like I ain't fucking crazy about that shit.
I mean, Luminous is fucking great, but I mean that's like with Tony Hawk. Like I would put pretty much all the Tony, not all I'd put a couple tone packs on this.
Drop my pen. Suck the dick on the way down.
If you want me to pick one, yeah, I'll go Vita. It was the better version. I think Luminous on PSP was.
Do you ever do any logo designs or concepts? I sure do. What I do for work, for full-time work, is I'm a graphic designer, so I do logos like literally all the time. And I do logos for people, for individuals, for companies. I do all that kind of stuff.
I love the PSP so fucking much. So fucking much. Yeah, they were universal. They played in anything.
The GTA stories games, they were great, but I mean,
Shout outs to them.
Yeah.
They were
hugely important in the early.
They were great, and that was the thing though, is that they never.
They were really shitty though when you think about it.
Jeanne d'Arc.
Yes.
That was a great game. That was like one of the first that grabbed me. Oh fuck! Where was my head at? Resistance Retribution. Put it on the board. Grayson? You kidding me? Hell yeah. Oh, again! I can't believe I was sleeping on it this late. Valkyria Chronicle 2. Valkyria Chronicles 2.
Valkyria Chronicles, that was my shit.
VALKYRIA.
Shout out to Monster Hunter, but it's none of our games. Half Minute Hero, shout out. Great game, but we don't have to put it on the list.
I'm done.
Shout out to Ryan Clements and Dissidia, Final Fantasy. Shout out to Motorstorm Arctic Edge, another great game. No shout out to Secret Agent Clank, you suck.
Secret Agent Clank, but balls. What are we missing?
Xbox 360 now.
Oh, okay.
I think the only Xbox 360 game that or there's two. I think Shadow Complex should be on the list, and I think Gears of War 1 should be on the list. I won't fight for anything else. I mean, there are other games. It depends on where you want it to live, like BioShock.
Yeah, that's when we're gonna get into a weird thing, right? Where we start having the.
I mean, BioShock's a 360 game.
Yeah, it was for a 360.
Yeah, a long time actually.
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, man.
Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2 was so good.
Mass Effect 3.
You think?
I think if we got to choose one, it's Mass Effect 2 probably.
Do we have to? Because we're getting into the Uncharted territory. We're going to get into the Uncharted Naughty Dog territory.
But that's
like,
fine.
What do we want to do?
But that's the thing. Is like I feel like we stand by the Uncharted games. We stand by all the Mass Effect games. I don't care.
2 is my game. Is
Let's
the one
do
I think will stand out head and shoulders above the rest. Yeah, I mean 360. I mean, where are we putting Red Dead? Red Dead's got to go on one of these, whether PS3 or.
You put it on 360 just because we're gonna have so many exclusives on the PS3 list. I don't mean that as a slight.
Shout out to Halo 3. Ooh, Portal 2. Portal 2. I personally, I think Portal 1's better because Portal 1's just such a great experience of just it's tight and it's done. But Portal 2, come the fuck on.
Left 4 Dead 2. I'd like to see on this list.
Halo Reach, Skyrim,
Fallout 3, or Fallout New Vegas.
I would say Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 probably.
Fallout 3, yeah.
Shout out to Braid. I don't think it was any of our kind of game, but whatever. Batman. How do we want to play that? Arkham Asylum, Arkham City.
which one?
You're a good guy to ask then. How much do you usually charge for professional logo designs? Yeah, please ask away. When it comes to professional logo designs, it really depends on who's asking for it. I usually do it by the hour. So by the hour is usually best because you don't know for sure sometimes how long something will take. So if you charge someone only $100 for something and you end up spending 15 hours on it, because you have to keep going back to the drawing board and you want to get a high quality product, you want to get something that's really nice for them. But $100 is way too little to ask for that much time spent on it. So you have to do by the hour, and it depends on who you are and where you are in your career. If you're pretty new to creating logos, you want to start with something that's really attractive to people, that is more like if you're like more of a proof of concept person, you don't really have that much work in your portfolio, or you don't have that much stuff that people can see like, hey, I can trust that he's gonna do an amazing job with this. Then you're gonna want to charge a little bit less than someone who wants to charge like 50 an hour, for example. Like you're not gonna want to charge 50 an hour if you're just starting out. 15 to 20 an hour is pretty standard when it comes to like entry level designer stuff. But it really just depends on your market too. Like who's your market? Is it people who are, you know, on Twitch who are looking for a logo for their Twitch account, and it's literally just for their page, they're not like partner or anything. You have to take that in mind, like who your demographic is, who the person is asking, and what you have time for. I've had in some cases people who were just like doing Twitch for fun ask me to do logos for them, and I just had to like straight up say I can't do it, because what they're looking to spend is far less than what I would feel comfortable with spending my time working on. So you have to kind of figure out your best case scenario. And it is like a formula too. Like if you have a lot of experience, or you spent a lot of money in school, I don't want to say like a formula as in like a guaranteed way you're supposed to do it, but those are just factors you have to kind of keep in mind when you're coming up with your prices, your hourly rate. I would recommend hourly rate over a flat rate, because things can, like if something goes outside of the scope of what you originally decided on, you want to be able to like, hey, this is going to be more work. It's probably going to be this many more hours, and this many more hours is going to translate to this much more money. So it makes things a lot easier if you have an hourly rate versus a flat rate. So that is what I say to that. In terms of like how much I charge, I usually don't say what my hourly price is, because I don't want that to be like a gauge for how much people should expect to pay, or how much you should expect to charge. You should charge based on what you feel you're worth. What does my girl think of Pikachu hoodie? She loves it. She thinks it's adorable. And it's not just a hoodie, it's a kigurumi. It's a full onesie.
I got really tired. I'm sorry, buddy. It's okay. You're almost there. The finish line's in sight.
Boom.
We're almost caught up to modern times.
So we're done with that.
Dinosaurs.
I don't think we should even do modern consoles, because
So what, do
they're
PS3
incomplete. And Wii.
So just do PS3, okay.
Terrible.
I'm fucking around.
We're done with 360. Yep. So PS3 and Wii, I think, are the last ones, and then you have to consider where Vita falls as well. But I'm not sure we should do any of the consoles that are currently being used. Like they're incomplete. Well, 3DS and all this. I don't know. Just we have so many games already on this list. It should be up to this point. We can redo it later.
I'm okay with that, because here's what we'll do. We'll take the 100 from their back, then we'll make a separate list of modern games. Then we'll try to combine those lists in a future topic. Maybe on the 200th episode. Maybe
Episode 10,000, remember?
Who the hell knows? Right?
We'll be well into the generation by then, so that's not a bad idea, actually, Kevin.
I bet we'll all have future glasses by then. Future glasses? Yeah, they'll all be like shiny, wrap around your head, and you won't be able to see where they connect to your face. Okay. I can feel it come.
Yo, Aploxity, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. On YouTube, I should say. Fair enough. Appreciate the info. Yeah, absolutely. Malian. You know, I like to be useful, but I like to also keep things in a realm of reality. Like if you really want to know how much I charge, like I can have an offline conversation with you about it. But like the other thing too is that like someone might hear that my price is one thing now, and like 2 or 3 months from now when I have to start charging more, they're like, what happened to this price? I thought it used to be this. And it's like, well, it used to be that price, but I have to do more now because, you know, shit has fucking changed. Like I've done way more work. I have way less time to work on projects, and I don't want to get into, I don't like getting into shit like that. It's bad enough that I have to charge people.
Shatter, yeah.
And in a perfect world, I wouldn't have to, but I gotta eat. I gotta eat, and I have goals that I have to achieve, and in order to do that, I have to I have to charge what I'm worth.
Be a recommendation for someone who just bought a system when we didn't think that if you just bought the system.
And the other thing too that you have to consider when you're putting your prices together is that like
100 games that you stand by.
there's a couple of things that are very frustrating about it. There's like nothing against anyone who lives in a different country or overseas or where the exchange rate is a lot more in their favor, even if they have to charge a lot less than what we would regularly charge in the US. But there are some regions in the world where like even $20 is a fucking shit ton of money. And those same people try to enter the same market that we exist in and try to take bids for projects that are what people are looking for. And so in those cases, you have to kind of like be mindful that that's going to happen, and you have to accept that you're gonna lose out on work because of it. Like I've lost out on products because of that, not necessarily because the other person was better, but because they were able to get such a better value out of super ridiculously cheap. All they needed was like a quick logo type of thing. Like I don't do quick logo types of stuff. I don't have time. How am I not a full-time comic book artist? Oh, I appreciate that, Marcus. I don't know, man. The comic industry is very, 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 very competitive, and like I have no problems with the competitive market, but it's one of those things where you have to really just get lucky. And to be honest, it's one of those hard things. I probably could be working as a full-time comic artist for one of these top companies, but ultimately what I want to do is which is something that I'm doing this year, is launching my own comic. And that is going to happen by August this year. So that's going to be really exciting, but it's also going to be very stressful. So I'm prepared for the stress. I am willing to put up with that aspect of it.
And then there was the definitive edition. Those came to PS4.
What game Tomb Raider come out on then?
Tomb
What
Raider.
system?
PS3.
Okay. Wow, why is that so confusing?
Because you're a hating ass hater. Just drinking haterade over there about Little Big Planet.
LA Noir.
No, fuck no. It's one of the names in this ledger.
Minecraft is here.
Yeah.
Would you put Minecraft on the list anywhere?
I mean, I love Minecraft, but to me, it's still a current thing because I played on my Vita.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, no,
That's totally fair.
it does deserve a nod. I mean, it does. If we want to include one of these versions, then yeah. I mean, because it was on Xbox 360 as well. It's on PS3. It's on mobile. It's on PC. When we get to the PC part, we're gonna have a lot of games.
So
on here.
so I'll put it in
Minesweep, Oregon Trail.
Definitely buy a comic. I appreciate that, man.
just real quick.
Appreciate the hell out of that.
I would say Civilization.
Yeah, that comic is going to be on its way. I mean, it won't be as highly rendered as like a piece like this is, but the covers will be. The actual art on the inside, that's not sustainable to do that. I would love to be able to do that. Maybe one issue I will do that, like do like full-blown, full rendered illustrative work in there. I would love to be able to get to a point where I can do that, but right now I can't. There's no way. Especially if I'm trying to make the August time. And thank you for the follow, Taylor Fronin on Twitter. You're only a student, so cheaper is probably better. Yeah, because like you don't want to undermine your own process and your own work by saying like, oh, exposure is the only important thing. Like, don't let people take advantage of you in that sense. Like, exposure is really important for a student, but it's also important that you start getting used to the idea of getting paid for work. Like, if possible, depending on whatever it is, the circumstances that you're doing, if possible, try to accept payment for your work as a student. Because the sooner you get used to doing that, by the time you're done being a student, you'll be like, all right, I know what this is like. I know that I have to have, a contract.
Again, we're gonna have to cut a lot of.
It's just a shadow.
So at this point,
Ooh, Catherine.
yes, I would put Catherine on.
And the battle royale.
But yeah, I love when people ask me questions about this kind of stuff, though. I love to offer my advice to people, help them out. I think it's really important. Really important to help people find their way,
Game on here that I liked, that I played.
Super I wouldn't put it on the list.
I'm not sure I'd go much further than
Wait,
this.
did you hear me say shout out? Did you hear me say shout out?
I'm letting you know what
Do I have to come over there and say it louder? Motherfucker, we fucked up. You gotta go back to DS, and you gotta add Mario Kart DS.
Crazy, man.
We have to start moving games. from
We
this list.
don't. It can be 10,000 games we said. Remember when we said that?
Remember when we said
You don't
that?
you don't have the game? You share it with your friend. There you go. You got all the levels. You got all the maps. You're all set to go.
Maybe when your work is bigger, then you'll come back to you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
007, whatever the fuck that terrible one was.
Nightfire? No.
Nightfire was game.
Have you ever applied for a video game art designer job? Could we qualify that? Thank you, man. Have I? Long time ago I have, but where I live, I could live somewhere else and do it, but I found a job that was pretty much in line with what I wanted. It has the flexibility of what I wanted and will allow me to do the things outside of that. I want to get to a point more so instead of working directly for the company, I want to be working as a consultant for a company doing like illustrative work for them. I think that's more along the line of my goal as an artist, to get to a point where my art is able to fully sustain me moving forward.
Spielberg. Thank you, Steven
Spielberg
Spielberg.
murder in the game.
That was awesome. That was a fun thing to do.
But
I'm
okay
surprised
not putting it there.
there hasn't been not a Boombox 2 necessarily, but somebody who just totally apes that for Move or something.
Or for mobile
VR.
devices.
VR, yeah.
Maybe
Because there's the
featuring some
stacking
angry
game.
birds.
Yeah, maybe put some birds in it. Yeah.
Cinema Chronicles,
Appreciate that, you guys. I love the love.
Prime 3.
I really do.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom, aka not Marvel versus Capcom. I'm sorry. Try again. Your gameplay was good. Who the fuck are those characters?
You said your gameplay was good, but who the fuck are those characters? You got a point.
Origins and Legends. I feel weird about it because they're so good.
Better
But-
on Vita.
Beautiful. That color's
Little
pop.
King Story. Get out of here.
Oh man, no more.
Hate that fucking game.
Oh,
King's Story? You mean King's Quest?
I love No More Heroes. Like I really love No More
Johnny
What's that guy's name?
Touchdown.
Touchdown,
Johnny
right?
Touchdown.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm putting, there's No More Heroes 2 here. I'm giving it to just No More Heroes.
That was a cool game. Red Steel. Not gonna happen. Reg. I loved Red Steel. I wanted to love Red Steel. Everyone wanted to love Red
Everyone did. Sin and Punishment Star Successor. Fucking awesome, but I.
Zack and Wiki.
Steel. I like Zack and Wiki. That was when I was still
Punishing-
up. When I was still up Wee's just asshole. I was just up Wee's asshole. at that
Yeah.
point. That was 2007. I think.
And I understand that we're gonna need to curate eventually, but I'm putting Smash Bros. Brawl.
That's my favorite Smash Brothers game. And I ain't fucking ashamed of it. See, that's the thing about it. Subspace Emissary? Not ashamed of it.
I'm with you, man. I think that is my favorite as well, but I think that's a time and place thing. Melee, I understand, is better from a competitive scene, and the Wii U one, I think, is more balanced and complete, and there's no tripping, but Brawl's the homie. Skyward Sword, can't even do it.
Right. Get the fuck out
God.
of here.
Damn, people did not like Skyward Sword.
Now,
Break your Wii Motion Plus fucking off in your own goddamn way.
arcade and mobile. Let's start with arcade.
Do I draw every day? No, not every day. I would like to draw every day,
Sure.
but I only have so much time in the day, so I can't do it every day.
Then DDR Extreme is by far the best DDR game.
But I would like to. There are times when I have to do artwork every day. If I'm working on a project and I've got a really tight deadline.
No.
Shout out.
I will say that I don't know that there's any arcade game that I would stand by to be on this list that has not already been mentioned as a console game or something that was mentioned early on. So like Miss Pac-Man, Street Fighter 2.
500.
I feel golden like a light gun game needs to be
House of the Dead.
somewhere.
House of the
But
Dead.
so that's the thing. There's the Time Crisis. There's the Point Blank games on the PlayStation.
House of the Dead.
That Aerosmith game.
House of the Dead 2.
I have that burning in my brain, like the intros. James, I tried. Like
Like-
very, really bad voice acting. I don't know why I spent a lot of money on it. All right, that's why. That's why.
Are you ashamed of that?
Silent Scope.
I don't. Sounds cool, but I never really gave too much of a fuck about it. I'm gonna put Carnival on this, understanding that it can get cut at any time, but
Sure,
I fucking love
sure.
that game and I stand by it. Daytona was awesome, but
It's over 9,000!
Oh shit! I missed this funky. Yo, this is funky. Thank you, man. Appreciate the follow. I appreciate that. Also scared the fuck out of me. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, shout out to Spy Hunter, shout out to Golden Axe.
Yeah, a lot of these are the old.
And that's what arcades were. Shout out to that Superman game where you can be Superman Red or Superman Blue. Shout out to Hubert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Super Doodle Jump and all that crap. Shout out to the real Ghostbusters game.
Yeah, arcades get hard because they range for so long. Area 51 maximum. What was it? There was Area 51.
I remember it.
Maximum something. World Virtual Cop 2, Determined USA, Crazy Taxi.
That's what I'm saying. Like the great arcade games are on console. And not all of them.
Oh, sorry. Metal Slug 3. Right, Kevin?
Hell yeah.
Good job, Kev.
Star Wars Trilogy Arcade. That shit was so awesome, but too expensive to stand by.
Ooh.
NFL Blitz, I saw that on there. I love those.
I want to give a shout out to Tekken 3. We missed this on PlayStation.
That wasn't Tekken.
I couldn't stand by it. I'm not enough of a fighting guy.
Tekken Tag was the one actually that really stood out to me in the arcade just because it was a PS2 game before that was our first taste. That and Street Fighter EX.
Street Fighter EX.
I did not like Street Fighter EX.
All right, mobile. Jetpack Joyride.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Plants vs
Addicting
Zombies
as hell.
is probably Plants vs Zombies is the only one I would have put on.
Now, Kev, for the Go games,
You're the GoPro.
I would put one, but I think it would have to be Lara Croft or Hitman.
Kevin, are you talking to your microphone? Can I hear you? Because you always yell at us to talk on the microphone, and you lean back and you can
do whatever you want,
you
Kevin,
can
right?
hear that you can't be heard.
You can hear that you can't be heard.
The kids, I'm talking to you guys.
You were about to launch into a conversation about the Go games.
No.
So you said Plants vs Zombies 2?
No,
So
the
you-
first one.
But yeah. You're saying
I think Deus Ex Go because it has, they were released in opposite order on the Vita. I mean, I guess Deus Ex Go hasn't come out on Vita, but there's a clear progression of gameplay and like.
Hate to leave. 6 a.m. Oh yeah, watermelon. You minimize the stream and peace out. Hey, absolutely. Go get some sleep, man. Get some sleep. Relax. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I'm happy that you came here. You had your questions. You chilled. You relaxed. You had fun. That is what it's all about. I am happy to facilitate good vibes. And that's what we all about here.
The Jetpack Joyride? I got that.
What about the dude that's wrong?
Oh, okay. So,
Oh, you mean
So-
Mario, Jetpack Joyride?
Pagel, we brought up earlier.
Ah, yeah.
For me, I'm going to put Pagel Blast on there with the caveat that they're fucking pay to play, free to play, pay for fucking everything bullshit is the worst. But I stand by it if you glitch it so that you have to reset it every
So
time.
why
You
not
can
just
play
stand
for
by
free forever.
Peggle on the console?
Because Pagel Blast is way better of a game.
Okay.
That's the thing. The Pagel Blast is vertical, so it allows a lot more dropping of the ball.
Sure.
Whereas when the playing field is different. It's
Okay.
just like Pagel Blast. I wish that they would just get rid of it. And that was a game I could pay $20 for and be done with it. But I still stand by Pagel Blast. I think it is the best Pagel, despite that bullshit.
Okay. Shout out to Game Dev Story. That's probably the mobile game I've put the most hours into in my.
Be back. Your stream's mad peaceful. Yeah, absolutely. We do artwork and we do gaming on the stream, so it is good vibes, good times, etc., etc. Love it.
Now to stop them.
No, we already put Tetris on there. I don't need to put in Sparks.
That's good.
So what?
Real quick, here's my one question, and this is a weird one, and I'm sure we're gonna watch back and think about this and not be tired from the holiday party, and we'll all be like, oh, why didn't we do that? What about Gone Home? Like, there's no PC category, and it didn't come to these consoles, so is it just we'd include it in the PS4 bin down the road?
Well, I think so.
I would.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I consider it a modern game.
Okay.
Spider-Man on PlayStation. I really love.
It was no Spider-Man on
but
Genesis.
it's not good anymore.
It's not good anymore.
It's stressful.
I hear you. Oh, I know.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we don't
we're
want to fuck
missing-
this up,
we're
but I mean,
missing some
well, the
stuff.
whole thing is we clearly missed a lot of stuff. We're trying to keep the list low, so it is that what games are jumping at you
Yeah.
of like, holy shit, right, PlayStation 3, this is what I played and this is what I love.
So what number are we at?
Let me do the math again.
10,000, I believe, is what we were aiming for.
Kevin, scroll back to the. I just want to make sure I hold it. To the other side. Yep. I just want to make sure that I have the numbers right.
Do you like this? Is this like you being Wolf Blitzer? Looking at the big screen over here, election results are coming in, but it's about Punch Out and Dr. Mario instead of the president.
Feed your soul. Oh yeah.
Double checking that.
Oh yeah. I like feeding your soul.
I fucking miss Crazy Taxi. I really miss Road Rash. Somebody needs to make Road Rash. I've said this a million times. Somebody needs to make Road Rash.
You know what I should do? I haven't done it in a while. See, look at this. Look at this. We already got improvements in the eyes, the faces coming together. Let's save this bitch.
This is not even including.
Sure.
Save it.
Video games are awesome.
They are really cool.
Pretty dope.
I never played Crazy
Shout out
Taxi.
to Duck Hunt. You never played what?
I never played Crazy Taxi in the arcade.
Oh, it was fun.
Was it better? I mean, I played it on. Honestly, what I did is I played it mainly on PS2 when it finally got
Me
ported
too.
over. Yeah.
First PS2 game I owned.
Did you play it in the arcade?
I did. Yeah.
Was it better in the arcade?
I mean, it's different. You had the steering wheel, so like it added a lot of franticness, but I think it's better as a game when you have a controller. Crazy Taxi 2, too much. Crazy Taxi 3, way too much.
Remember when they put it back out and it had none of the songs?
without
and
the
we're like,
songs.
oh no. This is it, dude.
Excuse me.
Oh no, he's mad at you. We're all mad at Kevin. Looks too good today. Too hot. Too sexy.
Too hot. Too sexy.
I hate it when he makes me question my sexuality.
Why do you do that, Kevin? Why do you do that?
Kevin, realistically, what time do we have to get in line for Rogue One tonight?
Why would I know?
That's where you're always telling us to go.
The scale happened.
When we went and saw Force Awakens in a very similar situation.
No, this is a bigger scale. People are more excited for this.
Really?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
believe
seeing.
that. I don't believe that for a fucking second.
When we went to buy the
I
tickets for
think
Force Awakens, they
people
didn't.
aren't more excited. More people are excited.
Yeah. All right, that's what I'm saying. It's more craziness. Like on the news today, they were like, people have been waiting for a week.
Should I bring a gun to the?
Should I bring a gun?
Thank you.
Greggy's got a gun.
What it is that he do? It's Greggy's last I owe you. You gotta run when you fucking big ones.
Oops.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Steam times. Say something I'm giving.
I think there are 169 games on the list.
169?
Yep.
I'm sorry. We're leaving it there. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the kind of funny 169. I like this. I like that. We can stop there for now. In the future, we will go back into the modern games. We'll make that a separate list, and then somehow, I think at some point, we will actually cull it down to 100. As impossible as that may be. There'll be blood, sweat, and tears. But it'll happen. And Crash Team Racing will remain on that list. Thank you very much for all your support in 2016. You've been fantastic. Let us know in the comments what games we forgot, because I'm sure we forgot a whole bunch. But try not to add too many, because I like the 169. It feels right. You know what I mean? Just let it happen. Till next time.
Happy New Year.
All right, now we're going to listen to some music. Music. Okay. Eventually break down. Nothing but my own mistake staring back at me. Go in close again. Start rendering these areas out. And one of the questions that someone had earlier was if I was using a blending tool to bring these colors together. I'm actually just adjusting the pressure that I'm using just one brush. I'm just using one brush to do this. Find my way. Yeah. Yeah. Got to keep. You could dance like there's no tomorrow. I'm starting to wonder if her eyes are too big. Her eyes are too big when her chest is massive. I'm gonna find out once I get further on in the piece. So that should be the least of my worries, right? Dance like there's no tomorrow. There's a place. Oh, oh, oh. If you mess up on something, how hard is it to go back and fix it? It depends on what it is that you mess up. For something like a color or something that you're rendering, it's not that hard. You just have to go in and figure out what it is that you fucked up on and figure out how to fix it. I think the hardest thing is just figuring out, identifying what you messed up on. Because sometimes when you're working on these pieces, especially as long as it takes for me to work on these, you don't know if something isn't looking the right way because it isn't right, or because you've been looking at it for so long, it's starting to look wrong. Like, if you look at anything long enough, it's going to start looking funny. Like, when you start overanalyzing it. So it really just depends on what the actual problem is with what you're talking about. Like, what if the eyes end up being too big, that's just a matter of, like, adjusting the line art, then adjusting. And it depends on how far along the process you are, too. Like, if I had already started doing the coloring process, it might be a little bit harder to go back and make changes.
Don't miss a great offer on an incredibly fast Fios triple play. Click the banner to get 150 meg internet, TV, and phone for only $79.99 per month for the first year. Plus, you'll get a $150 Visa prepaid card with a 2-year agreement. It's your last chance to get this amazing offer before it's gone.
So the $1 down and then $10 a month deal at Planet Fitness is now on through January 11th. Pretty sweet. That's $1 down and then $10 a month. Join in club or online at planetfitness.com by January 11th. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free. See club for details.
Yeah, you have that issue with editing pics? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it all depends. I mean, so if you've used Photoshop for like 10 years, you couldn't even fathom doing this stuff. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I mean, it took a while to get to the point where I can do this, though. And there's still a lot that I have to learn. Like, I'm by no means reached the peak of what I can do, or of what can be done using Photoshop. There's still so much more to explore and learn about, but and about painting in general, not even just about Photoshop, but about making art. There's still so much I have to learn. It's a constant learning process. You always learn new ways to do things and things that you forgot about or things that you didn't look at in a certain way until a certain point. There's always an element of discovery and learning. There should be, at least. Art is evolution. You are absolutely right. I'm going to save it real quick because I don't know what kind of crazy shit can happen today. How long ago have I been doing art? Oh man. You should definitely save off a copy at a stage right before coloring, because you guys say you love the grayscale look. Oh yeah. I'm actually, the way I do the color, the grayscale stays as its own layer. So how long have I been doing art? It's now 2017, 28. It's a really good question. It's a question I've answered before on stream, but I feel like I have a different answer every time. I've been serious about art since I was 12. So for about 16 years, I've been serious about making art. But I mean, when I was 12, I was a fucking child. Like I was still figuring things out. I was still having an understanding of what, I didn't even have an understanding of what digital art even was at that time. So I've been making art for like over 16 years, but like I made a conscious decision to really pursue it more so than just like an idea. In terms of digital art, not as long. Not as long. Part of that came down to access. Part of it came down to just knowledge on the platform. So I think I played around with it a little bit in high school, but I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I just kind of like thought it was a cool idea. I did like some pixel art stuff, but none of it was actually any good. It was just experimentation. There was still a lot of fundamentals I didn't really fully understand before I started doing that. At 12 it was expression, it was experimentation, it was like playing around with characters and concepts more so than really refining a style or refining my understanding of art. But that was when it all kind of like propelled itself to what I'm doing now. I've been doing digital since freshman, sophomore. I started a little bit in freshman year in college. Sophomore year, it was around junior and senior. That's when I started like really getting into digital. And that was 2008. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, wow. So it's been like 9 years. It's been 9 years since I've really been using the digital medium to its more fuller extent. It's been 8 or 9 years, depending. So it's been a fairly long time. Fairly long time. Maybe not as long as some other people, though. Yeah, I just now got the notification that This Is Funky is following me on Twitch. I don't know what is going on. It is so slow. But yes, This Is Funky. Thank you again for your contribution towards the growth of this channel. It is much appreciated. It is noted, etc., etc. Yeah, we are getting older. I have to start counting on fingers to figure out how long it's been now. Yeah, we're getting older. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with Stanley Art Germ Lau, but I take a lot of inspiration from him. Not just in terms of his artwork, but also just as a person. He's just like mad fucking chill, mad cool, very knowledgeable, and very open to educate. Started his own fucking school in Singapore, which is amazing. But yeah, he's probably my favorite artist right now. And he has been for a long time. Had an opportunity to meet him at New York Comic Con a few years ago. And just a real stand-up guy. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of chasing after his level of quality. What part of the world am I in? I'm in America. I'm in Boston. America, 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 fuck yeah. Coming again to see the motherfucking day, yeah. America, fuck yeah. Freedom is the only way, yeah. Now you have to answer to. You know what? We're gonna play that song. We're gonna play it, and it's gonna be amazing. Are you ready? Are you guys ready for this? I feel like there's some songs here that I should, or there's some videos I should play here. Friday Night Fisticuffs, Neon, Genesis, Evangelion. Let's go. YouTube.com. America, fuck yeah. What about you, Indy? +1 singing. Oh, where's my water? That's not in here. Fuck yeah. Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America. Fuck yeah. Freedom is the only way, yeah. You gotta play Neil Diamond, America. We have to answer to America. Fuck yeah. But suck on my balls, America. Fuck yeah. What you gonna do when they come for you, yeah? Oh, you're in Oregon. Okay, nice. Portland? Fuck yeah. 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 Live in Mount Hood. Okay, nice. Yeah, this movie cracked me the fuck up. Great song. Democrats, fuck yeah, Republicans, fuck. This is hilarious. Used to live on the East Coast? Oh, nice. Where'd you live? Where'd you used to live in the East? Wow, I cannot speak anymore. Where did you used to live on the East Coast? God, I could not speak for like a little while there. That was significant.
It's exciting to watch the orders flow in. What's not so exciting? Shipping them out. That's why you need ShipStation, the #1 choice of
What you
online
gonna
sellers.
do when they come for you? Yeah. Books. Oh, shit is so funny.
ShipStation free for 30 days. Plus, Spotify listeners get an additional month free. Click on the banner or go to ShipStation.com. Click on the microphone and enter Spotify.
Don't miss a great offer on an incredibly fast Files triple play. Click the banner to get 150 meg internet, TV, and phone for only $79.99 per month for the first year. Plus, you'll get a $150 Visa prepaid card with a 2-year agreement. It's your last chance to get this amazing offer before it's gone.
Meet the new boss of the new Celebrity Apprentice, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We moved the location from New York to Los Angeles, and we have, of course, a whole lineup of new celebrities.
Long Island and Florida. Okay, right on. So you say you do photo editing now, or image editing, I should say. What is it that you do for work? And what kind of images are you editing? Are you editing photography? Photos that you take, or photos that someone else takes?
Mondays on NBC.
listen to just one genre of music. So why pursue just one talent in life? Remy Martin celebrates those who pursue their many passions. You only get one life, so live them. Discover more at RemyMartin.com. Please drink responsibly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I'ma do whatever. Yeah, you know that. You know it. Just won't let up. Lean back. Stop. He's right here. Not wrong. So I gotta let you know. I'm so hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm so hard. I'm so hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so hard. I'm so hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm so hard. Too hard. So hard. So hard. So hard. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just won't let up. Bruh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just won't let up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just won't let up. So hard, so hard. Like a pony. I'll shut you down. Brilliant, resilient, fan man from 7 million. Cause the clothes run up on me like that, yeah. Running at my pedestal, gotta let you know. I'm so hard, yeah, 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 I'm so hard. I'm so hard, yeah, 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 I'm so hard. I'm so hard, yeah, 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 I'm so hard. So hard, so hard, hard, so hard. You're a programmer by day and photographer. I don't know how I missed that message. Programmer by day, photographer by night. Right on, dude. Yeah, photography was one of those things that I didn't really quite understand that much in college until I started understanding what the process was really all about and what the skill behind it really meant. Like, anybody can kind of like take a picture by accident and it'll come out having a really strong composition or having just the right amount of contrast in it, having the right value, having the right kind of interesting subject matter. But it takes a very skilled photographer to do that consistently and to do that on purpose, to do that under pressure, like in the moment type of thing, and knowing what kind of luminance any situation is going to need in order to invoke the kind of lighting, the kind of emotion that you want out of people, or capturing the moment the right way. It takes much more than just having an expensive camera and taking the picture. It's so much more than that. So I have a lot of respect for photography, much more than I realized I did back in college. Like, there was just so much I didn't know about it. And I think it's like that for a lot of things in life, you know? There's so many things within each discipline, each thing that we take for granted so easily, that there's just so much more behind it all. It's easy to assume, but assuming only makes an ass out of you and me. I don't remember adding this song to my playlist. I have no idea where it came from. Hope the music is low enough so that it doesn't get picked up by YouTube and they start bitching. Because I'm streaming on all 3 platforms right now, as is the case most of the time. I got here.
That's the same game that came through where I live as a kid in the bad luck truck and threw boxes off the back. Made me a ripper, deliver like river. Content a little more thicker, slicker, yeah. And they said oil
And water don't mix.
now they all down at the beach washing all the fish. Was Blackbeard till I brought the rock into your ships, yeah.
It's my life. Everything I do for you. Everything they say, you know it's the truth. I take all the pressure off for you. I take the pressure off of you. See boxes.
From the block, what they were selling O's like Will of Fortune of imported cocaine. Do or die, they was tired of being poor pimps. Not for sure, that was just the product of my common sense. I guess I was just guessing like the consonants. Mama said, beware what the devil do. Tell them that your soul's not for sale like
The W's.
So go ahead and pirate the Hyatts. Cannons make you leak like
Pirating my shit. No shh. It's just shh. Big homies out of retirement. Everything I do for you. I said it is the truth. All for you. I'll take the pressure off of you.
So the pen is mighty than the sword, my lord. My first picture was a lineup, now I'm on the Forbes. I still remain an artiste through this all. If you force my hand,
I'll be forced to draw.
if the war calls for war halls, hope you got enough space on your hall's walls. I make niggas mirrors, then escape the bureau's investigation out in Europe on vacation. I'm back for these puppies with the pound boy. Here's a round boy, down boy, sound boy. You don't wanna sound clash, loud noise, leave niggas paranoid.
If not paralyzed. Yo, Mo Fiasco, what up? Right on time. Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. Thanks for the host, man. It's my life. Everything I do for you. I say you know it's the truth. I'll take all the pressure off for you. The pressure off of you.
When you're selling online,
I feel like I should play another Lupe Fiasco song now. I feel like that was just perfect timing to the point where like I have to.
online sellers. ShipStation automatically imports all of your orders into one simple interface, so you can easily create shipping labels for all the top carriers at the lowest rates. Now try ShipStation free for 30 days. Plus, Spotify listeners get an additional month free. Click on the banner or go to ShipStation.com.
I'm gonna play that song next.
And enter Spotify.
And he never. Yeah, good idea. Exactly. He just sits and watches the people in the boxes. Everything he sees, he absorbs and adapts it. He mimics and he mocks it. He hates the blocks, but he can't remember how to stop it. So he continues to watch it. There's something that he can box with. Listen to the lock it. That's why he watches, scared to look away. Cause at that moment, it might show him what to take off the locks with. So he chained himself to the box of the lock, and then he locked it, swallowed the combination, and then forgot it. As the doctors jotted it all down with their pens and pencils, the same was that took away his voice. His instrumentals like, He never lies, no. He never lies, no. He never lies. And he just sits and watches the people in the boxes. Everything he sees, absorbs and adapts it. Not the box, he blocks it. He loves the box and hope they never stop it. Tell him to do, he doesn't anything. He tell him to get, he chops and he cops it. When he goes to sleep, but he never sleeps cause he stays up to watch it, scared to look away cause at that moment it might get stolen and that's the last of the boxes. So he chained himself to the box of the lock and then he locked it. Combination, then forgot it. As the doctors jotted it all down with their pens and pencils, the same ones that took away his voice. It's instrumental. He never lies, no. He never lies, no. He never lies, never said. What's your favorite Lupe Fiasco song? He never lies, You can't tell me just who you are. Just to hide them stars. Just to hide them stars. You can't take me back to the start. You can't take me back to the start. He never lies, he never lies, no. He never lies, he never lies, no. He never lies. Come on. And you can't tell me just who you are. Just to hide those scars.
Don't miss a great offer on an incredibly
Really? Another ad already?
150 meg internet, TV, and phone for only $79.99 per month for the first year. Plus, you'll get a $150 Visa prepaid card with a 2-year agreement. It's your last chance to get this amazing offer before it's gone.
This is Sandra. Hi there. Sandra has a few things in life she isn't sure.
What a loaded question. Yeah, it is a loaded question. If you had to pick Dumb It Down, yeah, Dumb It Down is a great song. That may change tomorrow. Yeah, Dumb It Down is like a very great symbolic song. If you would have asked me, yeah, I think Adoration of the Magi is a great song. I kind of like Mural more than Adoration of the Magi. But I love that Adoration of Magi is like, you're supposed to look at the lyrics, think about the song backwards. Like, that shit's pretty dope. Bio Hayes, thank you so much for the auto host. I'm trying to think of what my favorite song would be. This is a really great song. This song. Little Weapon's another great one. The Coolest. Oh, The Coolest is such a good one. Or maybe I'm thinking of The Cool. The Cool, the Hustlers Anthem. Oh my god, I fucking love that song. Spray Paint and Ink Pens. Actually, there's probably some people who haven't heard Spray Paint and Ink Pens. But that's a Fort Minor song. It's not a Lupe song. Mural is complete trip. Yo, you're still discovering its nuances. Yo, bro, like, exactly. There's still nuances that I'm like, yo, did he just make a Konami? Like, did he make a Hideo Kojima reference talking about his contract? Like, Hideo Kojima's contract with Konami? Like, did he literally just do that? I'm pretty sure it happened. Pretty fucking sure. Spray Paint Ink Pens. Yeah, it is a hidden gem. Not enough people have heard this song. It is so fucking good. So good.
This is an invasion. Spray paint and ink pens. I
Use to write in every color I think in, to paint a picture with every rhyme that I speak in. Yeah, the gallery is the beat that I'm a hood's best storyteller, dealing with the older fellas. You see it on TV. CDs and mics from Reeboks, shooting shoebox. I killed him to get. He was a damn debt again. This is a bus. Spray painting the ink pen that I use to write in every color I think in, to paint a picture in every rhyme that I speak in. Yeah, the gallery is the beat that theme song for career streams? Yo, it should be right. Let me begin by saying, shut the fuck up. Let me begin by saying that I don't think this man knew what he had in store. He opened the bed under the floor.
Not a peep while he's working a lot. Get the flame, aim, pop, open the box and take off out the back of the pawn shop. Scoping a lot, hoping the cops hadn't seen the plates on his car. He
Felt like he was hustling so hard.
Like a demon, he pumped the
So
cold
hard.
Play it cool like Humphrey Bogart. Put the rings on his chain attached by both parts. He did the drop, one ring in a bag, envelope,
All the money he had.
Left the money in the ring and a slow exhale.
2 weeks went by, got a box in the mail.
In the box was a
Bullet made of gold. Melted
down from
down.
the ring, recast with 2 rings in a band. And he stared at it sitting in the
Palm of his hands.
Sat down next to a picture that sat on the
Nightstand. It was his wife on the picture on his side.
The ring on a finger on the
The week that she died.
As he looked in the reflection at those
Eyes so red.
he put the bullet in a gun and
Put it right in his head like spray paint in the ink pen. Like just to write in every color I think in. To paint a picture every rhyme that I speak in. Yeah, the gallery is a beat that I. Lupe Fiasco had enough power to discuss it with muster warp 5 plus use of corruption. But he knew he had to try. Put the cure in his escape pod and kissed it. Told him back. But he knew if he could distract it, he could buy some time to make it out alive. One of the hands off. Blood seeping through his teeth. Then running wars, unsheathed the sword, and then he charged forward. What she heard was a blast. Spray paint in the ink pen. Every color I think in. Every rhyme that I speak in. Yeah, the gallery is a beat that I. Spray painting the ink pens.
Graffiti is art. It's expression coming out of a simple can of paint. Look, it's the easiest way for the average kid to get fame.
Yo, that verse was so sick. So sick.
Get into that gallery real soon.
I love that. Yo. Unsheath the sword, then he charged forward. Yo, I'm like, yo, Lupe, you so sick. Why you do this? Why you do this to me? Why you make me like your music? I have the music really low once again because I don't want YouTube being a little punk bitch about me playing music during my streams. Is it too low though? Can you not really hear it? Boy, you're a jerk. I think you're number 1, 2, and that's cool. I think you're number 1, 2. Let me keep it real. You got the feel. With warriors. With sticks with forces. You can prevent what I do. Only lose. Look at Ann. But that's cool, cause I think you're number one, two. I think you're number one. Oh, man. Go ahead. Don't stop. Go ahead. Into the bars. Michael Douglas. Number one. That's cool, 'cause I think you're number one. I think you're number one, too. Yeah, you're number one, two. How dope would that be if Lupe Fiasco was watching my stream right now? If he was in here just chilling, just lurking right now, that shit would be dope. Lupe, if you listening, if you listen to your own music right now, what's up, bruh? How you doing? I'm a big fan of that music. Of that music. He could very well be. He's a big SF. That's true. That is true. One of my favorite songs from Lupe is actually a freestyle. This shit was ridiculous. I'm sure you heard it. It was on Sway in the Morning. This shit just had me like, yo, bro, this shit was bonkers. Various errors. Much lead celebrating terror. When in the mirrors. Visitor, prisoner, thing. Force fed him like Obi with a nose tube. Like, did you just listen? He force fed him like Obi with a nose tube. So good. Yeah, looking for the swads. Various errors. Eventually accelerating terror. In the mirror. Various errors. Eventually accelerating terror. In the mirror. Listen to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What I love about this song too is that this is based off of a Fort Minor song, like the melody. You get like, ooh. It's up to me, I'd never unlock this. I will just boss these and throw away the key and throw away the key. Stop watching me. I throw away the key, I throw away the keys. When I watch these. If it was up to me, I'd never unblock these. I would just box these and throw away the keys and throw away the keys. Watching me, I throw away the keys, I throw away the keys. And I watch these. RoboCop op, COP.
Never left like shining like the whole right. Either working at the prison or it's no lights. In the system working with the police. In the prison stripping niggas phone rights. Got a malice. On the other side of the bars, watch your niggas get smart, watch your niggas get strong, watch your niggas get home. He jealous. But deep down he jealous. With each sweep down he tell us. With each beat down he help us. Wrong one gon' knock his ass out though. That's why he gotta lock all the niggas out for. One of them told the boy better calm down. Step back from the bringer, put the bomb down. But how the whole world in your palm sound. That's why he treat niggas like shit. Writing raps to the taps, keep the face nut on them. These niggas might spit. Better watch these niggas.
I'll never unlock these. I'll just box these and throw away the key. I throw away the key. Stop watching me. I throw away the key. I throw away the keys. Better watch these. On God. It's up to me. I'll never unlock these. I'll just box these and throw away the key. I throw away the key like a co-file watching me. I throw away the key. I throw away the keys. Better watch these. On God. This song's really long, but it's so fucking lyrically dense. It's so good.
We're all chemicals, vitamins and minerals, and Vicodin within the tubes wrapped around the arm. To see the vein like a chicken on a bond. Top cat chat, let's begin another yawn. Let's flying sausage cheese, or is it chicken palm? But roosters don't fly like boosters don't buy. So what powers cowards to get them to the top? Just to fall asleep, listen in the box. The ribbon in the sky is the ribbon that I drop. Dribbling the eye across the prism of a clock that lacks meaning, but racks up stacks of fat reading to catch chief and wrapped up plants from trap dealings. Now what's a coffin with a scratch ceiling?
Brace yourself for mural. Exactly.
And cherry picking every lemon from your berry system, then proceed with the pack feeding. When I was young, I had visions of another world, sneaking looks at the porn stash of my brother Hurl. Incense smoke made vortices and other curls, casting calls for porn films and ad space for rubber girls. I like my pancakes cut in swirls, Moroccan moles and undercover squirrels. I like cartoons, southern cities with large moons, faith healers, ex-female drug dealers, and art booms. Apologize for my weird mix. What tastes like hot dogs and tear drips, and looks like pantomime and clear bricks.
It smells like guns and deer piss.
They on a hunt, kinda salty that I'm going hard. First part of a party that I throw in pods. 1 minute you playing pool, next minute you throwing darts. But that's how you do with a party that you throwing bars. I run the gambit like I'm throwing cards.
I run that gamut like I'm throwing cards.
Overdosing hard, paint cold pictures like Nova Scotia landscapes. Nerd gang, McMandel brought sets when we handshake. A word game back up, playing that can damn lakes back up. The word playing that the man states means I can still be the man if the dam breaks. And when demand breaks, some reflections what they can't face. But Pyrrha still treat the mirror like it's a fan base. The unfettered veteran, the eagle feathered man.
Treats the mirror like it's a fan base. What?
Chance of rain when it's rain slaves to Santa Claus, slave man with rain like queens that reign over made man, and not queen like queen killer, Rhapsody Bohemian queen, but queen like white glove wave hand. And not wave hand like it's a heat wave, so you make a fan by waving your hand. I'm talking wave like you saying hey, man. And not hate for horses and horses like you almost voiceless. You gotta treat your vocal cords like it's a fortress, and treat every single one of your words like reinforcements. And especially when you're recording, cause that's the portion that's important. When I was reporting that I was poor, but now I'm more than, it's still hooker heels on my sugar hills and sweet spots. Crying shames make margarita rims from cheek tops. Deep plots and floor to ceiling windows for my pea pots. A little scene, swift as sickle swings to make the wheat drop in 100 words for them hummingbirds that like to eavesdrop and fan out like peacocks with a parakeet that beatbox. So the sun rise when the beat drop and the sun dies when the beat stops. Then it unties, then it relocks, then it relapse, then it detox, then he back like a heat pack on his kneecaps at the weak spot, cause he want what we got, like yeah. Then forge poetry like a young honorary Morrissey, then spit it to the golden lock thoughts who like they porridge all watery, not scorching nor sorbity from the still orbiting sorcerer sorcery, coming down gorgeously, just like a Stacy Dash waterfall. A more torturing
Coming gorgeously like a Stacy Dash waterfall.
like Brazilian carnival, swimming in feminine bikinis made out of barbasol.
Barbasol.
Somebody give them the volleyballs. If you love her, don't ever send her to Molly Malls. Homie, if she lonely, she might end up in Macaulay's claws. Coming out the closet over goblets down at Mardi Gras. The fame, champagne, walk of shame, lobby call. My rap position was black condition and activism, ammunition for abolition missions, attacking systems, but they not after listen, unless it's dropping no Activision.
Unless it's dropping on Activision.
Apparitions, operating applications stuck inside an Apple prison, chicken hacking, download updates that lack religion.
Download updates that lack religion. Yeah, I love that one too.
Preoccupied with boy and goyle, chasing and foiling others royal saintings. I sit back and watch the world through eye holes in my oil paintings.
It's over 9,000.
Oh, who we got following?
Nothing to it but the trust. Believe all that.
Oh, I missed.
Unless you judge, life is not a dictionary.
Let's do it.
And I feel like a missionary.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. You have no time to throw your head back and say, oh, before you hit. I know. That is my only. I totally agree with you. It's rapid fire. It's like.
The motherfucking forest. As I perform a nerd storm, I prefer my pictures in word form. Bury the hatchet like how a bird born. As I paint cold pictures like Kool-Aid facing condensation, having
As I paint cold pictures like Kool-Aid condensation. Yo, what?
the juice man meets OJ with 2 hands and 2 gloves. That's too snug to judge who was who drew blood. And Lupe, look at all these 2 cans in a cemetery full of tomahawks, giving middle fingers to the pigeons doing somersaults. Road runners don't fall off cliffs, they run across anomalies by the colony, flukes by the reservoir. While in pursuers end up as poofs on the desert floor. Levitating youths who know the truth of where the fountain hides. Buckaroo roof painting tunnels onto the mountainsides. 1,000 parts a pound, a heart, an ounce of eyes, an ounce and out of doubt, and mouth pronounces out accounts of lies. Chocolate counts by the counts of 5. Refrigerator roof full of animals and monsters. Incinerator shoots in the manual for Contra. Assorted memories from my childhood. Absorbing energy from the wild woods. Electronic combat, Konami signed contract. Chinese
Electronic Combat Konami signed contract. What? Like, I think that line specifically was about the Konami contract with Hideo Kojima, talking about the war that they were having. He already knew about this shit. What? I'm sorry. He's a big Metal Gear fan as well, and Metal Gear is my favorite, absolute favorite. I'm pretty sure that line was in reference to that.
Chicano, who's the boss? If it isn't Lisa Milano, do the call. Ninja mission into the Congo. Polarized envy of the older guys. Black Obi Shinobi hitting Keno in the face with all my throwing knives. Sub-Zero guiding, hiding, riding in the pack as well. Sound Village, Leaf Village, Wolf Spirit, magic spells.
Riding in the pack. Sub-Zero riding in the pack. What?
Disney samurais to catch the L. Special research vessels made for catching whales. Fillet of fish, ship, sea shepherd, peppered with extra cells. Rewrite history, liberty needs a better bell. Maybe harder ions and carbon fibers that never fail.
He is. Yeah, Metal Gear is my favorite.
Or maybe just a metal pail you hit with steel tools to announce you've
Song's ridiculous.
This is Sandra.
Hi there.
Sandra has a few things in life she isn't sure about, like what wine to order.
There's so many, and I'm not French.
But one thing Sandra does know is that the experts at nerdwallet.com make finding the right credit cards easy.
Thank you. Using your preferences, nerdwallet.com does a personalized search through over 1,700 credit cards to find the ones that match you best. By the way, where's your volume knob?
Right there. But I'd prefer if you didn't touch the...
That's better. Visit nerdwallet.com to make sure you have the credit cards that work best for you, because nothing beats knowing.
This new year, save time and money for your small business. Stamps.com makes it easy. Just use your own computer and printer to get official U.S. postage for any letter or package. Then your mail carrier picks it up. No more wasting time going to the post office or wasting money on expensive postage movers. And now, Spotify listeners get a special offer from Stamps.com, including postage and a digital scale. Click on the banner or go to Stamps.com. Click on the microphone and type in Spotify.
What time is it now? Oh my god, it's 2:43. I need to get my ass to bed. Alright. We're going to play one more song before we go to bed. I know we just played like 20,000 Lupe Fiasco songs, but we have to play one more. We have to do this. I'm so sorry for anyone who is tired of listening to Lupe Fiasco right now. I'm going to continue bringing the heat because it's just
sway,
fucking ridiculous.
In the morning. Wake your fuck ass up. Crust out your eyes.
Can Lupe kick a freestyle then? Ooh wee! Because he said perform, and I was like, well, he didn't do the inauguration, but he here.
Exactly.
That's my
I like that request, Heather.
I like how we segue
off the top of the head. Like no, really?
Well, he put the same caller back on Lupe.
Let's have a beat.
I'm a little boy. See,
I'm not tripping.
Okay,
right. That's fine.
DJ Wonder. Yeah, he's nobody. Oh wow, yo, Lupe Fiasco.
Yo, I like how I ain't even get to get warmed up.
You know.
Oh wait, that was my bad. Okay, check it out. 1 2 1 2 live on Sway in the morning.
Yo, but
45.
I need some. Yo, Wonder, I need some groove. I need some groovier though. Cause the freestyle, I need groovy stuff. If I try and rock over there, it's gonna be whack.
You gonna kick a written or a freestyle?
I'm a freestyle. I don't know how to. I don't know how to. When people say freestyle, I'm freestyle.
You go off the top of the head.
Yeah, I go off the top of the dome.
Oh wow!
That's dope, though.
Yeah.
I love this is live on air.
It is live.
That's what freestyle's supposed to be. Bedtime story.
Yes.
Like Methodist Baptist.
So I
Do
church
my,
how I work.
you know my worth.
I search like MCs in the dirt. How I attempt these as I go berserk. And move purses, move curses, how it does it.
And everybody wanna know exactly what was it.
Will you at the
Inauguration Lupe? I don't know, that sounds faker than a toupee.
The line was kinda whack and it was kinda subtle, but I had the bubble up.
She had a bubble butt,
Like looking,
but I don't like
hooking.
I'll be in the crack spot cooking. Or was I? That may be rumor 2.
I got a
Rumor 2. On a mission. Introduce.
The young boy, West Side, Chi-Town, my town.
Come through, you gotta bow down. Like Bow Wow.
Yeah, that's dog, Snoop Dogg, who y'all 2 falls. And as my truth comes better, I feel like this. I put it together like God put birds together with feathers and bones and beaks. That's how I do it.
Every time that I speak.
So who flew the coop? It was Luke out the roof of the coupe with the top down. Maybe in the trunk though, where the MCs was kicking that bump. So I had to come through and hit them
With the jump.
Now what's
Jump, let's define that.
Maybe it's when you rhyme like me, where you
Rhyme that.
And maybe that fire, or maybe something higher, the temperature of the minister. I enter you like integers, that's a negative in ones and guns.
I got plenty of them.
But I'm cool, I'm calm,
I'm positive, but I'll knock the head up with the llama, kid. Yeah.
But
let's not provoke this.
Try and do this. Rap styles,
No smoke shit.
Cause I don't believe in weed, I feel it's held you back. And whoever told you that
was lying.
Fire, dying, flipping. I'm glad they put lean off the market. Now you a target. Now let's hit them raps without that sir, homie.
I'm talking to you, Tony.
But who's Tony? Is it Montana, Mama, Fontana, cheese on the cracker? I live it, wine, cheese, everything that I believe. Ramadan coming starts on June 28th. I get slim, get straight. And that's how we move weight. We see what's so fast that you ain't even catch it. I bring it back Ramadan. We don't eat going ratchet. Woo. Like I'm working on the car. She love me like I'm working on her heart. But I be back there working on the bars like it's Coyote Ugly on the stand. My man, break out the cam. You should film this, record this.
At the Grammy Awards, they reward this. I'm doing with a poor piss. You had laptop issues. Is it going to be color? There is going to be color. There is going to be color. I'm going to be using a bit of that as well. And that's how you do Lupe, and you giving them the per diem, yeah. We rock today.
We on the road, they never stop with me. Shout out to D-Boy, shout out to Anthony, shout out to real niggas, Rick Ross, ad-libs, woo!
I killed. But this is going to be colored using a method called gradient mapping.
Shout out to Barry, shout out to Crespo, my homie Sway.
Looking scary.
Was you gonna fuck Kanye up when you turned the mic off? Cause I would've did the same thing if that nigga tried to strike on. But you know, sometimes you gotta let it breathe, and I know you got the answers, but they ain't got the questions, so you gotta make
quances.
That means you say the question and the answer at the same time. It's interview
shit.
If you ain't know, this is really
interlude shit.
I'm not even dropping hot bars yet.
I do this.
In my rudeness, exclusive, you're clueless. I love Stacey Dash
ass explosive.
Or maybe explosive, another dosage. Shout out to Dosage out in Philly, going really with Jassy Jeff. Now you know this. And now I'm losing steam.
Feel good. I like a dream.
Shout out to SZA. Shout out my niggas, TDE, Absol. Album coming on you niggas. We rockin' Tetsuo shit. Mission dropping, we on a mission.org. Oh shit. Oh no, this your focus, the locust, the Lupe, the rap.
I'm out.
Yeah! Talk your shit, Sway! Let's hear it!
You whack motherfuckers. Did you just see that? Did you just see what just happened right there at the top of his game? Grammy Award winning artist, been around the world, music director for the U.S. soccer team. Woo. Come on, man.
And I got the most powerful chain in hip-hop.
Most powerful chain in hip-hop.
That's the Henry Crown Fellowship chain.
The Henry Crown Fellowship chain.
The littlest, biggest chain in hip-hop.
You can't just get that. You got to live 4 lifetimes. Yo, man, I appreciate you, homie.
That was so dope.
Yo, that was sick. Yeah. Yo, I was thoroughly impressed, man. I only caught that feeling a few times in my life. Here, boy, you said, did you hear that? You want to shake his hand, huh? There you go, man. Yo, thank you for that, man. That was incredible, man.
Yeah.
I've seen like M when he freestyled off the top, Juice from Chicago.
Yeah, shout out to JUI.
Yeah, JUI.
All right, one more song. This is another freestyle, but not Lupe this time.
That have done extremely well. I'll put you in that category now. Yeah, I'll put you up there, bro. I'll put you in my top 10 right now.
Rarefied.
There it is. Lupe Fiasco, man. We don't know when the album is dropping, but definitely support that Mission single.
This is this is a freestyle called "Slipping on My Swag Juice," and it's fucking hilarious. This is a complete freestyle. I have no idea what I am doing. I have no idea what I'm doing, but everybody get up, sit up, Christopher, the miserable without you. Superman is alive and he's flowing like the Mystic River. Act like you never been kissed before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this rhyme is about to hit you right in the kisser. I was riding in freeways, babe, just a hop, skip, did a jump from my skin cushion to my face that I've been pushing. Nail razor, my face is my pin cushion. I can switch ya. Your style's been butchered. Someone put the brakes on. Ribbit, I got you slipping on my swag juice. My swag juice, I got you slipping on my swag juice. It's a smidgen of midget to get your digits. Pretty, don't try to fidget with it. Ribbit, I got you slipping on my swag juice. My swag juice, I got you slipping on my swag.
I got it figured out now, nigga. See, my
Mine's right. Can't nobody stop it how I get it. I never should have left what I was living. Impressed by all these women.
But then again, I wouldn't met the ones that I was digging. So now I like the looking. Talk a lot, don't you like little Kimmin, Serena Williams. Just like my Jetty Chucks, I'm a relic of Charles Dickens. Bitch call me talking about she pregnant. She crazed me, so I manifested that hoe. And left baby, I don't never trust them, no shit.
Even if she specializes in mouth massaging my testicles.
I never trust her. A hoe I meeting on the first date we made. She's basically getting her mouth raped. Then turn around and ask me for a kiss. No bitch, I'm straight.
I've never really been concerned with how my own dick tastes.
I think about the slip on my swag juice. I think about the slip on your swag juice.
No, don't slip on your swag juice.
Yeah. I think about the slip on my swag juice.
Well, he's a smidge in the middle to get your digits, Bridget. Don't try to fidget with it. Ribbit. I got you slipping on my swag juice. My swag juice. I got you slipping on my swag. Simmer down there, sister. Bound to get you busy because he gets as busy as a bee, baby. He could throw a frisbee in the blizzard. He'll catch me in his teeth. What is he? He's a wizard. And I'm pretty sure it isn't Bisquick, is it?
Now, baby, don't forget to bring your lipstick with ya. I want the kiss
What is blitz to Smith? The brains get the guillotines. This is the situation as critical as brace spins his turntable. Then he cuts the record like a scissor. Chicka. What the heck is sicker? Wait a minute, I just dropped my necklace in the liquor.
Now, baby, just to make a little breakfast in the
It's
sixer.
a
Clock in the morning, unless you want to get some dessert.
I got you slipping on my swag juice. My swag juice. I got you slipping on my swag juice.
I said, here's a smidge of the midget to get your digits, Bridget. Don't try to fidget with it. Ribbit. I got you slipping on my swag juice. My swag juice. I got you slipping on my swag. My swag juice.
Bum. 2 days ago.
Hey, yo, just so everybody knows, that was a hook that we made on the way to the radio station, and we were trying to get it right, so we may have fucked it up a couple times or whatever, but this is what we were trying to work out before we came here.
Especially for Westwood, man. Especially for you, homie.
Damn, Eminem, case we whiskey, baby.
I love that song. I got you slipping on my swag juice. Oh, so good, guys. So good. All right. What are we at? We got it is 2:54. It is almost 3 a.m. I think we have to bring the stream to a close. As much as I would like to keep working on this, including tomorrow, I don't think I'm going to be able to wake up in time to work on this some more tomorrow. My girlfriend wants to hang out, so I have to go to her place, which means I can't work on this, at least until I get home, if I do come home. Yeah, that was a sweet freestyle. That shit was awesome. You know what else is sweet? The fact that you guys are in here watching me work on this artwork and jam out to some tunes, listen to some music. We have some really exciting stuff coming to the stream in the coming months. I'm going to be working on all original content very shortly. Not fan art, actually characters that I created. And that is going to be really exciting. But we are going to... things that are coming to the stream are some more Street Fighter, because I feel like I haven't played that in like a month at least. We're going to play some more Street Fighter. We're going to play some more Black Desert Online. We're going to play some Doom. I've had the game forever and haven't played it yet. We're going to play some Titanfall. We're going to finish this. We're going to work on some Aranea. We're going to play some Overwatch. Probably some Uncharted. We have a lot of stuff that we gotta play through. Uncharted has like the new expansion, the survival expansion, that I have not touched at all yet, and that I would like to touch. Giggity. There's just so many exciting things going on the channel. We have games that are coming out in the coming months that I need to spend some time playing. We have a comic book actually that's going to be released by the end of this year. Well, mid-year actually, August. There's not that much time, so I have to get the ball running on that. But issue 1 of the he's hoping I don't come home. I need to come home. I should come home so that I can continue creating art. If you're hoping I don't come home, that means I won't be able to get online. If I do go home, that means I can come online. I can do some painting. I do hope I mean, part of me hopes I don't go home so I can, stay at her place, go to work, and et cetera, et cetera. But I have work in the morning. I want to come back so I can work on this some more. I really do. Because I'm at a point within this piece where I'm like really happy with how it's coming out. And I got like a rhythm going on. I would keep streaming tonight, but I also know that I need to get sleep. Sleep is like incredibly important. And we all need to make sure that we're getting enough of it. And so with that said, I am going to bring the stream to a close just for now. Just for tonight. Or this morning, I guess, technically, since this is fucking 2:57 a.m. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Seriously, it means a lot that any of you are in here at any point. You could literally be anywhere else. I know I said it. I know DJ said it in the podcast that we did. You could be anywhere else in the world tonight. You didn't have to be watching the stream, but you decided to do so. And in doing so, you have made me very happy. And hopefully you learned something or you create some art at her house. So yeah, that's painting a different type of, that's a different kind of painting. Different kind of painting. You nasty. You all have been awesome. See, look, I can't even stop. I need to stop myself. I need to stop. But I want to keep going. I just want to keep making this look as good as I can. Blending these shades together and it's the problem. I can't stop. I don't want to stop. Can't stop, won't stop. I don't even know how to stop. So what do you say? Should I put up a work in progress on social media, or should I be like, maybe do like a teaser? Be like, hey, for those of you who missed the stream, it sucks for you. You can see the VOD, the video on demand of what I worked on, but you didn't see the live stream. I taught a bunch of things in the session and listened to some awesome music. Yeah, you have a good night as well. Serving all the Lupe tracks. Yeah, man, I had to. You know I had to. But we did a pretty decent amount today. Let's save this. We have the face pretty much done. We have to go through and do some fine-tuning stuff as well. We worked some on the hair. We kind of refined what the braided part is going to look like. We defined what the darkest parts of the piece are going to be. We did a lot of like fine-tuned rendering. The hand looks pretty fucking awesome. We got to do some things to it to kind of change it a little bit as well. We placed the important shades where they need to be. The refinements will come in time. I'm feeling really good about this. Really, really good. How are you guys feeling about this? Are you feeling really good about it? Did I already say thank you, Hiroshin? I'm pretty sure I said that, but if not, then thank you so much for following. I don't know if there's anything else I have to add to that. But yes, have a wonderful night, everyone. I'm going to put an image on social media probably tomorrow, just thanking you guys specifically for being here, and then telling the people who weren't in there that they missed something pretty amazing. Appreciate it. we got more work to do on it in the coming days. Take care, guys.